are you?
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Wait a minute. I know you.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
I know that, dude.
He's a modern-day Yoda.
I'm your huckleberry.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Greetings and salutations.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. You're excited. Feel these nipples.
That boy's good. Good and terrible.
Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
This is the Mike Rutherford Show on the Big X.
The sportos, motorheads, geek bloods, wastoids, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
The Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133.
Well, I'll stand up next to a mountain and I'll chop it down with the edge of my hand.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. It is Wednesday, June 24th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus. We're coming to you live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios, here in the heart of gorgeous, but not humid, Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, you can take accounting to a whole new level with U of L's Masters in Accounting and Analytics. In-depth data analytics course allow you to achieve a new Mastery of Accounting in this AACSB accredited program. 11-month competitive internship opportunities and full access to the Becker CPA exam review. Prepare to graduate career-ready in just 12 months. This sounds good to you? First step is hopping online and visiting business.louisville.edu today. We're on the air from 2:35 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM, 96.1 FM. We're streaming all over the land, including on the Big X Sports Radio Louisville YouTube channel. We are airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know what's better as the Big X. It's the post-first-round draft edition of the Mike Rutherford Show. Trevor Kelsey is here. Intern Ian's in the house. Most importantly, we've got the Giant Dance Trophy in the house. Let me pull it over here for the YouTube camera so you can just see it. It's here. We did it. We brought it. We're feeling good. It's still got sand on it from the first stop on the World Tour. This is actually the second stop on the 26-27 World Tour. We took it to Hilton Head. Now we're taking it to the Big X Studios. Who knows where it will go next? We've got reaction to Michael Brown Jr. going 6th overall last night. I was right. Trevor was wrong. What else is new? We'll talk about that.
Hey, I got Jefferson right apparently somehow. Remember Joshua Jefferson? I didn't think he'd get drafted, and he did.
Yeah, I told you he was a projected late first-round guy.
Well, no one listens to you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, we pulled it up. He was 28th in the mock draft. I was very, confused why you sent me that text last. You're like, Jefferson got drafted. I was like, yeah, we know. He said he was going to go 28th, and he went 28th.
Took your intern from
Intern Ian is in the house.
He's gonna do some board time. So
he's gonna do some board time.
You're gonna get to watch him on YouTube today.
You're gonna get to see the gorgeous face of Intern Ian on your YouTube streams today. That's gonna be fantastic.
He had a date last night.
Oh well, I've talked to him about that.
I know. I can't wait to hear that part.
That'll be one more date than Trevor's had in the last 25 years.
Well, that's what I need his advice. I need to know. I would say I need him. I don't know. Do I need to take dating advice from a 19-year-old? That might just get me in trouble, right?
Nah, that's when you put it like that. Maybe not the best thing. When's the last time you had a date?
Oh, Lord. Like a legit date?
Like a legit, you went out with a girl that you were either seeing or interested in seeing, and you had like an evening out together. Has it been like 15 years?
I don't think you want to know the answer to this.
Longer?
I don't know, because I don't know the exact year, but I think it was when the Simpson movie came out.
Okay.
I guess I did. A girl I was seeing at the time then, I think we went and saw the Simpson movie. I think that was the last time, because most of our hangouts were just hanging out at home.
I believe that was 2007, so we're coming up on 2 decades here.
Was that 2007?
2007.
Oh, no, I've gone out with, I dated one person until, the last time I was in, an actual relationship was probably, what year did Gonzaga in North Carolina play for the national title?
2017.
Okay, that was the last time I was in, an actual relationship.
Okay.
Since then, it's been some couple hookups here and there, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Pay or pay, not pay.
I know people are like, oh, my God. We'll get to sports. We do this. It's June 24th, for God's sake.
This is probably more fascinating.
I've got a question that needs to be. So, we haven't done the show together in 2 years.
Yes,
and we kept in contact, but I feel like we never got overly personal with stuff when we would text. It was mostly just like you sending me jokes, me sending you jokes.
Well, that's even when I was doing the show with you the first time. Kind of where it was.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But we did talk on the old days of the show about trying to find you love. And you and Scoots were both kind of like, I'm not that it. You wanted to fall into your lap.
Turns out all I did was leave, and you got every other producer after me, love. But
pretty much. I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying with you or Scoots. I brought up great ideas. Speed dating at the quarry. Scoots just not having it.
Nope, that was all Scoots. I was on board for that.
I mean, are you looking? Like, would you be an active seeker of a relationship at this point?
Call me the seeker. I'm not actively seeking, no.
So you still just kind of want it to fall in your lap. You want the
no pun intended.
You want the Taco Bell love.
Well,
that you thought you had 4 years ago.
And that person is no longer at Taco Bell, I might add. I think I told you that.
I'm aware. Also was a man.
Yeah,
there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's not not my cup of tea, but it did throw a wrinkle in my plans. I'm not gonna lie. If someone, I'm not going to the bar and being like, hey, what's up?
So if someone on the text line was like, take me seriously, I actually think I have someone who would be good for Trevor.
Would I go on a blind date for that?
But you found out like they would have to like show you a picture and tell you like what they're like and what their background is, and if that all sounded good, would you be open to something like that?
I would be more concerned on you showing her my picture because I'm more likely not as concerned as she would be when she sees me.
But if she was like, I know I'm into this, would you be down?
I mean, I'd meet him. I'd hang out with her.
There we go. Okay, that's it.
I'm not gonna dismiss it. Listen, just because I'm not out searching it, doesn't mean I'm not gonna still welcome a championship home.
That's right.
I mean, I may not be overly being like we're gonna win. We're going to Omaha. We're gonna win the College World Series. But when it happens, I'm excited.
It's like Rick Pitino with Brian Bowen. We weren't searching for him, but if it just falls in your lap, of course, what bad could happen, right?
Well,
that went great.
Well, if that recruitment combines with into a relationship scenario, that could actually be interesting.
There also might be some crazy funny money exchanged in that. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what happens?
But yeah, I'd go on a blind date. Yeah. All right. Do you know somebody?
No, I'm throwing.
Does Mary have like a cousin she doesn't like?
No, but they're. Well, yeah.
Let's see her send me a fruit pie for Christmas next year. Set her up with Trevor.
I hope she's not listening. But yes, but just kind of throwing it. If the situation were to arise, I don't want somebody who's listening or somebody who reaches out to be like, "Oh, Trevor's got no interest." So we just so you know, like he's open to the idea.
I mean, listen, I'm a friendly person. Listen, it's not. It doesn't always have to be. I want somebody I can get along with as much as anything.
Absolutely.
Like younger Trevor was she could be like just the dumbest person in the world. I wouldn't care.
Sure.
Like now, I got to be able to have a conversation.
Companionship matters more as you get older. For sure.
But I mean, pre-30, it was just like I'd really, if she even speaks, he doesn't even speak English. It's not even relevant.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, desperation, as you know me.
Yeah, that's fine. We got lots to get to today. We want to hear from you guys on the Big X. I take back the Gameday Men's Health text line. My apologies to Gameday Men's Health. Number there, 502-414-1450. YouTube chat is also off and running. We've got, the first the first comment that I see on YouTube, it says, TK, did you put that T-shirt on feet first? It is stretched out at the neck pretty.
Wait a minute, hold on, is it that bad?
I saw the comment and then I looked at you on the screen.
It's my Sublime shirt. Is the neck that bad? It is kind of loose hanging.
It's a little turkey neck. It's hanging down a little bit.
This is an older shirt. I've had this shirt probably since at least almost 20 years. This is one of my early Sublime shirts. So, yeah.
I've got a handful of shirts.
I got chest hair hanging out of it now.
Just showing off the taco meat. It's fine. It's all good. What are you going to do? I'm rocking Phil Rich Made It Rain today.
What do you got on? I can't see that.
It's the old Phil Rich when he was before. We took we took an attorney.
Got a V-neck on.
We took him to a sponsor.
Okay.
And then we made him a judge. So Phil Rich, he's making it rain.
Oh yeah.
Judge now.
Yeah, that's right.
But he hooked us up with the T-shirts, and I think he gave us the umbrellas. I use us liberally. I think it was just.
No, it was just you. I was here for that free giveaway, and you were like, "Look what all I got." I'm like, "Where's mine?" You're like,
I mean, it was an umbrella and a shirt, which I still am proudly wearing today. Shout out to our guy Phil Rich.
So he's a judge now.
He's a judge now.
So now we have him and Darwin. How can we not get the banner? We got two judges in our I don't know, not to maybe for lack of a better term, in our back pocket.
We're basically kingmakers here, outside of me publicly endorsing a candidate for sheriff that didn't win. That was the
I tried to vote for.
That was the one step that we were missing when it came to just being able to do whatever. Like, this show could have just gotten real lawless. We could have just cussed every single and be like, you know what? There is no FCC. Come at us. Come at us with your army. We got the law on our side. We would just be getting everybody eligible left and right for Louisville. But we got 2 judges. We don't have the sheriff, but maybe we can, buddy up with the guy who did win the sheriff.
Now I'm feeling self-conscious about my V-neck Sublime shirt.
It's hanging down pretty.
It is hanging pretty low.
It's pretty low.
It does look.
Put it on feet first.
I feel like was his date to Spade when he wouldn't give his sweater to Costanza because he'd stretch it out. It's like I knew I should have let my buddy borrow my shirt.
Let's dive into it. I mean, I assume that our nights were pretty similar last evening, just as far as NBA draft, World Cup on. I watched a little bit of standard TV. First episode of Widow's Bay. It was interesting. I was into it. Mary's not into it. It's okay. But we've got draft stuff to talk about. So Michael, 6th overall to the Brooklyn Nets. It's kind of, I said yesterday, that's where the buzz was, but you never know if it's actually going to come to fruition. Brooklyn was set on him. I mean, you saw the reaction before they officially announced what the pick was. Now, it was on Twitter, I think. Goodman was doing the new Woj. He's like the new Woj, where it's 40 minutes before the pick. He's like, they're going to take Chris Senack, and just kind of ruins it for everybody.
I never go on Twitter during drafts. I hate that.
I only did just because I had a pre-write for Michael, and I had written it up as if he was going to be drafted by the Brooklyn Nets. And so when I saw that Goodman said he's going to get it, that's all I was looking for, so I hit publish on that. But if it was anything else, I'm waiting for the element of surprise. But so we know that the Nets are going to take Michael, and they show their war room, and they're going nuts. Like they're like, we've got our guy. Michael gets drafted. He goes up there. First of all, do you make anything out of the fact he's wearing a light blue suit, which he says was, he's Puerto Rican heritage. He said it was dedicated to Puerto Rico. There is red in the Puerto Rican flag.
Just telling you.
If you were, do you make anything of the suit choice?
No, I mean, it just, I don't get into suits. Look at me on YouTube what I wear. Obviously, suits are irrelevant to me.
Well, again, you're not Michael Brown. So.
No. I did think it was a North Carolina, suit honor.
I mean, it was Carolina blue, basically. I mean, there was a moment where just as a fan, I looked at it and I was like, oh,
Because when they showed him during the pre-draft, he was doing the L's up in his picture.
Oh, he was?
When they were like, here's who could be the top.
See, I thought
it was when the 5th pick was coming up. They showed the 4 guards and then Mara, and I noticed he was doing the L's up in that picture.
See, there was like a draft rundown at the very beginning of the coverage. I thought for a second he was doing L's up, and then I went back and looked at it. He was just throwing up a peace sign. So I missed the L's up. But
that's the only time I saw it, though.
Yeah, he was. There was no L's down. At least we had that. So he gets up there. He's the number 6 pick. The most notable thing that happened last night, I thought, was what took place during the post-draft interview, or the post his selection interview.
For the record, those interviews on the couch with the baby slideshow pictures was the most annoying part of the draft I've ever sat through in my life.
You had the pictures in the background, and I don't know if you noticed this. The picture that they had of him during his Louisville playing days was not him. It was Kenai Roots.
I thought it looked weird, but it wasn't until you pointed out on Twitter that it.
So immediately, I stopped. First of all, my kids. I'm watching outside. Of course, everyone decides to come outside right when it's time for the pick where I think Michael's going to go. My kids are great with being quiet and not doing anything unless they know that I want to watch something. And so I'm just trying to listen. And like John's like, how long do I have to keep being quiet? I'm like, you're not being quiet at all, buddy. So I'm just like, I've got the TV on volume 65, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, I don't think that's stop it. Mary's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't think that's Michael in this picture, and it's not. It's Kenai Root celebrating after a dunk.
So was that his baby picture we even saw?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm questioning everything at this point. But it's Kenai, and if you zoom in on it, you can tell. I thought at first glance, I was like, did they just Photoshop the number 0 onto his jersey? It looks like it's a weird-looking 0 because of the way that his jersey is creased at the time. But, Kenai was 9, so it's just the top of the 9 number. And then my guy Chadwick Fisher found it on Getty Images, and Getty mislabeled it. They saw the same thing that we did, where it looks like a 0, and the caption on Getty says, Louisville's Michael Brown celebrates after a dunk against blah, 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 blah. And so very clearly somebody at ESPN who was in charge of assembling the pictures for this thing, I'm sure they had some that were sent in by the family, and then you had to find one of them playing, just searched in Getty Images, the same tool that everybody uses, like Michael Brown, Louisville, and that picture came up like, oh, this is a good one. And it was without any sort of fact-checking. I mean, it did make him look a lot stronger than he actually is. Yeah. Kanai is yoked.
Is that by ESPN? I mean, how didn't they have this incident when the Rondell incident came out and they put the wrong picture?
They did put the wrong picture.
Yeah,
that was bad.
I mean, exactly. I mean, this is obviously a more lighthearted version of it, but the point being is that, do we need to like really work on ESPN interns here? I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, can we not? Is nobody in the screening process? What's going on?
I wonder if he noticed it when he went to the little room, but because
well, his dad was mad it wasn't a picture of him.
So they talked to the dad. They're interviewing Michael, and the dad the entire time is just like, first of all, they ask him the question about the back, and the dad looks like he's about to beat up the reporter.
He looked mad the whole time.
He did until they started talking to him.
Yeah.
And then it was Chris Brown interview time. It was, let's go. This is my moment. I made this happen. I mean, he's talking about his own playing days, and I think, to my knowledge, he didn't play anywhere in college.
I didn't remember, man.
It's kind of like when you and I, like, we're talking about, we're referencing something U of L did the past night, and we're bringing it back to, like, St. Matthews Little League basketball. That was what he was doing, but on ESPN, on the night where his son, who's sitting 3 feet to his right, is celebrating, like, a lifetime achievement. He's like, it's like when I was playing on the JV team back in 1996. I mean, this guy is an absolute disaster. And I think that anybody who had kind of heard what we had talked about throughout the season but hadn't experienced it got a little bit of a taste of it last night. I mean, it was just, he's so awkward. Like, it just, the mannerisms are strange. Taking over the interview was strange. I'm telling you, there is a parting of the ways that will happen at some point over the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think he's going to, like, disown his dad or anything, but he will kind of be like, all right, you need to back off a little bit. I'm a 21-year-old man. I'm going into my 3rd season of the NBA. I don't need you holding my hand anymore. And then he'll shift all his attention to the other kids who, unfortunately, will bear the brunt of it. But there was a lot of reaction to that. I was super interested, and I know that the internet, regardless of what social media site you're using or what website you're going to, is not fully indicative of the collective mindset of a fan base. But I was really interested in seeing how Louisville fans were going to react. And the super interesting thing to me was it varied a lot from site to site. On Twitter, you had it was fairly evenly split, but you did have a lot of people that were kind of going to bat for Michael and saying, like, you know, he played for us, he helped us beat Kentucky, he did this, he was hurt, there's nothing he can do about it. Like, I'm a Michael fan for life. I feel like on my website, it was fairly evenly split. You had, you know, the requisite number of people who were like, is he even going to play? Like, he wasn't even a Cardinal. And then on Facebook, overwhelmingly anti-Michael. Like, you had a handful of people who were like, go get him, Michael. But it wasn't just people that were anti-Michael. It was over the top, like, I hate this kid. He's never a Cardinal. I hope his whole family goes away and stays away forever. Like, all of that sort of thing. So it was, I would say, about what we expected as far as there being a lot of varying opinions. I still feel like the majority opinion is, as it usually is, somewhere in the middle, where it's people who are saying, you know, him having a successful pro career, it's good for Louisville in the long term. I'm not going to lie and act like I feel like I have the same attachment to him that I would have if he'd played the entire season, or, you know, in the old days if he played multiple seasons here. But I'm not actively rooting against the kid. And then there are outliers who are the extreme other way. Like, I get it. I understand that this is complicated. It just sucks that this was the defining storyline for us as Louisville fans last night. I mean, and this kid was the first top 10 pick that we've had since 1990. I was trying to do the math in my head. And you're not going to do well. 36 years.
He named the only 5 drafted before the 6th pick.
You drafted before Felton that year?
Yeah, well, not that year in particular, but Louisville players drafted higher than 6th pick.
Purvis was 1.
Yep, there's only been 5.
Griff was 2, right?
Yep, 1980.
Unseld
And so was 2 in 1968.
Charlie Tyree
Was number 2 in 1957.
And there's that like George Haptower from like 1947.
That is not correct.
What was his name? There's a really, really old timer.
Not even that old, 1983.
I thought there was another one from like one of the first drafts that was like the number 3 overall.
No, oldest would be Tyra in 57.
Really?
In 1983, Rodney McRae went number 3.
I swear that there's somebody who, George Haftower in 1948 was the number 3 overall pick.
I don't know if they acknowledge that as part of the current NBA state. Then maybe
that I don't stand for this George Haftower erasure. I won't stand for it, Trev.
Yeah, I had enough swallowing my pride to throw in Vince's dad. Okay.
Also, Bob Lockmuller was the number 8 overall pick in 1952.
Lockmuller. Well, that was number 8. That's after 6.
I'm just saying it's top 10 pick.
Okay. I was thinking guys before 6, but yeah.
Yeah. I did pretty well though.
If you want, I can tell you the guys taken 1 through 5 in 1990.
I could not. I was waiting for you to do that. Also, I'm begging you not to do that.
Derek Goldman, Gary Payton.
You got 10 seconds.
Oh, number 3, I can't remember. I'm just gonna go with the top 2. Screw it.
That's fine. I think everyone's like, okay, that's
I got 1 and 2 right.
Where were you? I mean, first of all, did you watch this last night? I know we
did.
both talked about having a little bit of a lack of interest, but you're an NBA draft guy.
And I have been, and I talked about yesterday. I said I think it's the coverage. Both ESPN's coverage just does annoy me, and more. I think each and every year it gets on my nerves more because I feel like I don't know. It's just like they're trying to be the NFL draft, and it's not working.
Did you flip over to ABC at all?
I
know that the same company.
Didn't even think about that. I did not.
The coverages were on at the same time, and they were very different.
Okay, well, I wish because when they do the NFL draft, I only watch NFL Network coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know how that's going to change with the purchasing thing, but no, the only time I flipped it over was usually when they did the couch interviews. I'd flip over to the soccer match and see what's going on because, like I said, anything post the pick, I really could kiss. And on top of it, just seeing Adam Silver every time makes my skin crawl. I hate Adam Silver so much. And I know he's not going anywhere, which is a shame for the NBA. But
he's looking more and more like a demon from a sci-fi.
Plus, I didn't realize he's like as tall as Mikael Brown.
Yeah,
I mean,
tall guy.
I guess when Brown got drafted, my mom was in the room. She goes, "Wow, that guy's tall." She's like, "Or is just our guy really short?" I'm like, well, a little both.
He's tall.
And she also was like fascinated by how none of the hats fit any of the players. She was loving that.
They need to stop doing the hats.
The hats is so pointless.
We had like 12 trades last night,
and
it was confusing for everybody. So they need to start. It's a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and you've got almost half of the draft with their official draft picture being in a hat of the team that they're never going to play for, in all likelihood, or at least the team that they're not going to start their careers with. They got to fix that.
Plus, did we really need to see Dusty May after every pick on the camera? I mean, even though we did get the funny, like, fake laugh gif.
Is he super weird? Like
he just, every pick, they were like, there's Dusty May. I'm like.
The bro hug, which I retweeted if you didn't see it, he did a classic, like, he, like, daps up somebody. He's got the biggest smile in the world. The second the guy walks past him, he goes right back to stone-faced. Like, it's sort of and I don't know the guy personally. It's a kind of like sociopathic look.
I think that was when the Warriors took his Michigan kid, too.
He was furious about Adai Mara getting drafted by the Thunder for some reason.
He could have drafted him.
But they didn't have another pick. I don't know if they were trying to trade up, but like they show him when Mara gets drafted, he like slams his fist on the table and says, "Damn it!" And I was like, I don't know if he just doesn't like the Thunder ownership or what, but that was sort of weird. But yeah, he was everywhere last night. He wasn't the only coach of players that was there last night, which we're going to talk about after the break. I do want to dive in. I think there was something interesting on the U of L side last night that I want to talk about after the break. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm not. I want to get Trev's thoughts on that. Also, keep the text coming. Gameday Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. We'll take our first break. Back after this here on 1450 and 96.1. It's the Rutherford Show on the Big X.
got the rap patrol on the patrol. Foes that want to make sure my clothes. Rap picks and saves, money cash shows. I'm from the hood, stupid. What type of facts are those?
3 o'clock hour. Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Trevor Kelsey in the house. Intern Ian is in the house as well today.
He's going to be on with you this segment here in a minute.
Oh, is he? He's going to run the board?
I just went over with some stuff with him, and I'm going to step aside and let him do a little bit of this segment with you, and then I'll be back to help him close out the segment. But
you're not coming in here?
No, I won't come out. I'm going to give you a break. I'm letting him do things.
I just did a photo op with the trophy where I put headphones on him and put him in the with the microphone on the side and took a picture so I could say he's co-hosting for the day. So I was going to have to move it back.
By the way, this was a shout out to Brooklyn with the Jay-Z song right there.
Love it. All right, well, I want to talk to you before you step away.
Yeah. I figured you said it, so I will give you that.
Because I've got thoughts on something that happened last night. So we knew, based on Pat Kelsey's press conference from Monday, that he wasn't going to be there last night.
Yes.
It was notable. I did keep an eye out for this. Every coach of a lottery pick, besides Bill Self, who's recovering from surgery right now, every coach of a lottery pick, besides Bill Self and Pat Kelsey, was there last night.
Really? I didn't.
Including Hubert Davis, who got fired from North Carolina.
I didn't even know.
Caleb Wilson was asked about it, and he was like, I love playing for him. Like, he's still my coach. I couldn't imagine him not being here on this night.
Now, are you sure he wasn't there just as an ESPN employee now or not?
Caleb Wilson says, like, I wanted him there.
Okay.
He's like, he was my coach. I love playing for him. Couldn't imagine this night without him. Pat Kelsey famously was not there. I mean, which side of the aisle are we falling on right now when it comes to was he not invited or did he say thanks but no thanks? I don't think he was invited.
I don't think he was either.
I don't think he was, but there's some growing traction from people who are like, I don't think he actually went, and they're saying this in large part because U of L social media. I saw some people who were critical of this. They did what they're supposed to do. When you have a player who's drafted in the top 10. You hype it up, you put out the highlight videos, you congratulate him, you put out the press release, you do that whole thing.
And you use a real photo of him, too.
You don't put a photo of his former teammate who now is playing for Oklahoma. And claim that it was him.
I wonder if Ruth gets drafted next year and they put a picture of Mikael Brown behind him.
I'm just imagining Kenai being like watching from O'Shea's before he goes to Oklahoma and just being like, what? Is that me?
Hey, I made it on the draft.
I made it. But U of L put out an official press release last night, as you would expect, talking about the same things that we did. He was the highest draft pick since Felton Spencer in 1990, first-round pick since Donovan Mitchell in 2017. I thought it was notable, and maybe I'm wrong. I think we'll find out the answer to this question tonight. There was no quote from Pat Kelsey in that press release. I feel like typically you have the release, you put out, he was drafted so-and-so, he did this, and this, the accolades, and then you got the quote from the player, from the coach, who's like, Mikael is the preeminent professional, he's born for this moment, so happy for him. Now, Kelsey has said things about him publicly this week already. He said, I think any team that passes on him is going to make a mistake. I'm very curious, Trev, to see, assuming Ryan Conwell gets drafted at some point tonight, U of L will also have a press release out for him. Do we think there's a quote from Kelsey on the Conwell release, but not the Mikael one?
If there is, that answers our question.
100%.
I mean, now he did mention Ryan in the press conference. Was it 2 days ago? I guess
yes.
now.
Yeah.
And he did mention Ryan in that. So I don't know if he was getting ahead of himself, but because he talked about Mikael too. So I mean, I would be very curious to see if there is a quote from him or something. I didn't even notice he wasn't in the release that they did with Mikael. I didn't notice. I just saw like the picture, and I love some of the comments. Like some are like great, and others like he's not ever a Cardinal.
Yeah, the comments,
the back and forth is like reading a political post.
They were hilarious. All over. The amount of people who were like, you shouldn't have even written this on my post. I was like, come on. Of course I'm going to.
Like, don't post that. He was never here. It's like, I think he was.
Obviously, this is the first player that Kelsey has had drafted at Louisville. I assume it's the first player he's had drafted overall, period. I don't think that they had a player drafted at Winthrop or Charleston.
I mean, Carlos Charleston, they had a guard that went there long ago, but I can't remember.
Rain Smith?
Okay. That wasn't Speedy Claxton. We went to Hofstra.
He was Hofstra, correct.
It was the Pride. It was Anthony something. Maybe Anthony Johnson, I think, went to Charleston. I'll look it up.
I mean, is this a recent player, or are you thinking?
No, I'm thinking literally.
I'm
thinking literally their entire school history. They've only had, I think, like one player, like really NBA wise, or even drafted. I think his name was Anthony Johnson.
Jarrell Brantley.
Okay.
Grant Riller, remember him? He was an absolute sniper. He got taken in 2020. They've had 4 players drafted. Anthony Johnson was taken in the second round in 1997. So Grant Riller, I think he predated Pat's time at Charleston.
And I think Anthony played in the NBA too, if I'm not mistaken. He had a couple decent years, maybe.
They've never had a first-round pick.
No.
But, again, the point is he hadn't had a player drafted at Louisville. So I went back and I looked. The last player that we had drafted, quick trivia time. Do you remember who it is off the top of your head?
Our last player technically drafted?
Before last night, yeah.
No, just tell me off the top of my head.
David Johnson.
Okay, he was second-round pick by Dallas, I think.
Correct.
Or something, yeah.
So I went back and looked at that press release.
Hey, I think he's in TBT now.
Which what he is.
Okay.
Which, Kenny Klein drafted. It was kind of got a little jolt to the heart when I saw that. Yeah. But there was no quote from Chris Mack on that one either. But it was kind of a tumultuous time for Louisville basketball. We were coming off the weird post-COVID season. He was about to fire Dino Gaudio. Dino.
Luke Murray was getting that.
He was about to fire those guys. So maybe that played. But, there was no quote in that story either. But then I looked at the other universities that had players taken in the top 10 today. Like DeBonsa, there's a quote from Kevin Young on BYU's website. Peterson, who had a similar thing as Michael this year with the whole mystery with the injury, had a very nice quote from Bill Self. Every other player that I looked at, Caleb Wilson had a quote from, I think, the North Carolina AD on their website. I don't know if it's something. I don't know if I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here. But like you said, if there is a quote about how great a Cardinal Ryan Conwell was tonight, I think that says everything that we need to know.
Yeah.
About how he feels about this whole thing.
Do you expect there to be a quote about Ryan Conwell if he's drafted? Then?
I don't see now at this point. Now that I think we're giving it a little bit of attention, I wonder if they're just like, well, we can't put a quote out there now. I mean, I'm not saying that we have that. We're wielding that type of power. It's not just us. I'm sure other people are talking about this as well.
I mean, is there always been a quote from the coach in every Louisville draft pick that we know?
Well, I just said there wasn't one for Johnson.
Well, exactly. Well, other than I guess since Johnson then. I mean, since before 2020,
Let's look it up. Let's see if Rick Pitino had a quote on Donovan Mitchell being drafted.
I would think.
In 2017. I mean, yeah, you couldn't keep Rick Pitino from giving a quote back in the day.
You still can't.
Yep. Right away. We are all very, very excited for Donovan on being drafted in the lottery, said U of L men's basketball coach Rick Pitino. He put in a lot of hard work on his game, and he's receiving the rewards for having an incredibly strong work ethic.
So it's safe to say that
Rick sounds pissed that he still went. He still sounds pissed that he
shouldn't have let him try out for those the NBA camps because he doesn't go to the NBA camps. He doesn't because at first I think he was protected like in the late 20s.
Yeah, and then he crushed it.
And he crushed at the camps and he went all the way up the lottery. Yeah, that's maybe shouldn't have let him go to those.
Because I will always, whenever this gets brought up on the show, I will always clarify because there are Kentucky fans who to this day say, and it's died down a little bit now that they've made amends with Rick Pitino, but they would always be like, well, Pitino said on the Ramsey and Rutherford show he didn't want Donovan to go pro and he thought he needed another year of college. It's not what he said. He said, in classic Rick form, if he's not going to be a lottery pick, I think he should come back to school and then we'll turn him into a lottery pick for next year. Once it was apparent that he was going to go in that top 14, 15, Rick was cool with it. I think cool with it's probably, I think he wanted him selfishly to come back, obviously, but he never said, I don't think he's ready for the NBA. He said if he's not going to be a lottery pick, I think he should come back.
I think that was similar to the exact quote I said on your opposing radio station on my own show at the time, except I said if he's a lottery pick, I don't blame him for going, but if he's not, he should come back.
Sure, yeah.
But it's and I didn't. I mean, I remember thinking he reminded me of another Dwayne Wade, and I thought I was going to be wrong on that one, but I'm glad I was right.
I still can't believe he's as good as he is.
I am a little shocked a little bit, but
yeah.
But I think he's the timing with the NBA transitioning the way it was and the style play in the late 18, going into the 2020s and what we had now. I think it was just a perfect storm, which is weird though, since we have not had any comment. If you've been drafted since 2020, you don't get a statement from our coach.
Well, we don't. I mean,
we only had two.
We only had two. I mean,
but still, 0-2.
Jordan Wara was drafted in 2020.
Okay, he got a statement though from back, didn't he?
I don't know.
Do
you want to find out? There we go.
He was a second round pick too.
Chris Mack did not make a statement on Jordan Wara's official press release.
See, I'm starting to get. I mean,
Pitino. he gave out the quotes. Chris Mack not giving quotes out for players.
I mean, Patino, I'm surprised didn't give a quote for War as much as you pointed out. Patino loves to give quotes.
Well, Patino also never coached him. So his
sorry.
freshman year was that.
I'm sorry. Do you think that would stop Patino?
I recruited him.
Have you never met Rick Pitino?
He may have drafted his own release on rickpatino.com back in the day when he was getting ready to go coaching trees.
Forgot about that website. Can I still find that website?
I don't know. I did love the one day where he called me out on the website, where at the very bottom he had this whole post where he's like breaking down players in the summer, and at the very end it was like, message to Card Chronicles. he's like, I keep hearing people say that they read it on Card Chronicles. Like, why don't you come by the practice facility sometime? I was like, I'm like reading it. I was like, what? I was like, is he talking about me? And then Doug Davenport immediately texted me. He was like, Coach wants you to come to practice facility. I was like, all right, let's do it.
I only got yelled at by Patino once in a press conference. It was over at Derek Character Question.
Oh, he wasn't yelling at me. He
yelled at me.
He just wanted
got mad
because people thought I was in trouble. He just like wanted to like hang out and talk. I was like, oh, we can do that.
No, he got mad at me when I can't remember the character. He was asking him about character transferring, and I brought it up. I think because he'd even compared to himself to Roderick Rhodes, and I was like, well, he transferred to USC, and he got mad. He's like, he's not going anywhere. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. Did. Yeah, I know. I was like, sorry. At the time, I was like, okay, but please don't yell at me. I'm sorry, Coach.
I mean, when he got mad at you,
he did get mad.
It was
one of those weekly press conferences.
You felt like a disappointed son, for sure.
I do. He's very, even though I'm like 3 inches taller, he's very, very demanding.
As a draft guy, do you have any other grand takeaways from last night? I mean, nobody was surprised by the way that the top 4 picks went. It was what everybody thought. Few surprises, I would say, in the lottery as well. A couple guys slipped a little bit lower than people thought in the first round. A couple of guys were taken a little bit earlier. But it seems like sort of almost a by-the-book first round.
Yeah, by projections, it seemed to go. I thought there'd be a little bit more wonkiness between 2 and maybe 5. I thought maybe somebody could, shake it up with like maybe if Utah went with Caleb Wilson or, maybe even Wagler instead of, Peterson or Boozer. And could kind of mix it up, but it obviously didn't happen. I mean, I like Mikael Brown's spot with Brooklyn. I think only because, as we said, like Brooklyn's like a dumpster fire. I mean, their roster sucks. He can go in there and probably put up 20 plus points and 10 assists the next 2 years. They'll win like 30 games, but he can put up good numbers.
If that.
If they're lucky, yeah.
I mean, who's their best player right now?
Michael Porter Jr. probably.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, that tells you anything, yeah. And I don't think I think he led them in scoring. I mean, and he is, at best, a 4th option on a title contender.
Yeah, he averaged 24 points per game.
I think Cam
Thomas was
but he's a free agent,
player.
I believe.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Noah Clowney, I think, is also gone, right?
He should be. He got shot like 30% from.
He's still on the team.
He's a big. What did he shoot last year? He's a big man. He shot like 30% from the field.
Now they've got.
That's so sad.
They've got Julius Randle.
Wait a minute. How'd they get Julius Randle from Minnesota? Did they sign him?
I believe so.
I did not see that. Okay.
That's kind of it.
it.
Like you look at the rest, like Igor Demons, their starting point guard right now.
They have nothing. Yeah.
Drake Powell. Yeah, this is a bad team.
They're not a good. And to be fair, that's why we're kind of hoping he would go to Atlanta. Between Brooklyn and Sacramento, the only difference is the coast they're on. I mean, both those teams are dumpster fire franchises, and I mean, I guess Mar going to OKC kind of made sense because I guess they just figured that Chet Holmgren needs a 7-foot-something white dude to hang out with.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing that did kind of come out as a little surprise to me, and I'll probably be wrong. I'm surprised Koa Pete felt as long as he did.
He was such a tweener.
He was, but I feel like his game does have kind of. I'm not saying he's going to be like an impact guy, but I would have thought he would have gone more in the 15 to 16, 17 area than I would have seen him going dead last.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talk early in the season. He was a projected lottery pick. He had all the Team USA accolades, and then as the shooting numbers were bad, there was a lot of talk that he might come back to college because there was. The common thought was the earliest he's going to be drafted is like 22nd through 25, something along those lines. So it wasn't a huge shock to see him taken that late. He's got a funky form. Like the shooting form is bad, and you just can't get away with not being a shooter unless you're like
lockdown defender
or like 6'11" or taller at this point. And even then, I feel like you've got to have at least a little bit of that in your game. Dude. So I wasn't overly shocked. I would have been shocked if you told me that back in like November and December. but it kind of had been trending that way for a while. What do you make of? There were 3 players I saw that had eligibility remaining that stood to make a ton of money in college next season that ended up not hearing their names called. Isaiah Evans from Duke, who was kind of their 3 guy last year. Henry Vasar from UNC, who I think if he'd stayed in college, we were going to make a pretty heavy pursuit for before we got Flory Badunga.
He surprises me because he doesn't seem to have like an NBA style.
I was surprised that he
game.
And then Malik Thomas from Arkansas, who I actually did think, out of those 3, I thought had the best chance of hearing his name called last night. So,
by the way, according to ESPN, those 3 are the top 3, and number 4 to their best available is Baba Miller, and number 5, Ryan Conwell.
Oh, really?
Which Baba Miller does have kind of an NBA game too. To me,
he does.
I wouldn't be. If he doesn't get hurt, we beat Cincinnati last year.
If he'd gotten that extra year of eligibility, we would have, I think, tried to bring him here. But it's always been a risk to go pro. But I can't imagine miscalculating in this day and age where you're passing up on like $4 million guaranteed to play college basketball. And then slipping to the second round where it's like, I don't know if I'm ever even going to be in the league.
You're not making 7 figures either.
That would have to be, that'd be one of those where you have to sit down with the agent and you're like, what would you say you do here? Because you kind of screwed me on this one.
Well, if you want to talk to those agents, you know who to call now. Thanks to Jeff Goodman.
Jeff Goodman put their names out there.
He called, is that what the kids call putting them on? He doxed them. Is that
put
what
them on blast? Little doxing. He also called out R.J. Lewis's agent from last year.
Did he?
He's like, now he wants to go back to his agent. By the way, is so and so. I was like, damn.
Jeff's kind of like an agenda against agents, doesn't he?
Well, he's at that age, and I think he just doesn't care anymore.
He's watching He Got Game and just start cussing at the TV.
Well, I think he brought up R.J. Lewis's agent because it's the same agent for Malik Thomas this year. So 2 years in a row, he's been like.
And the other 2 share different agents, but same company.
They're both Wasserman guys. Yeah.
Which I don't know what is that. Should I know who Wasserman is?
Wasserman's the name of the agency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think the Sam Permute guys from the Rock Nation, the Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's the Jay-Z. Okay, I couldn't remember if that was Jay-Z or the LeBron one.
So we'll see where Ryan Conwell goes tonight. I think that you'll have, at least there's going to be no sort of awkward feelings from the Louisville fan base tonight. If Conwell hears his name called at any point during the night, there's going to be a nice celebration, and we'll all be excited for him. We'll see how Pat Kelsey reacts. But we've waited for a night like that for a long time, and it just felt awkward when it shouldn't have, and that sucks.
I feel like there's only 30 picks in the second round, and ESPN's best available list is 1 through 70. Jeez. For the record, Isaac McNeely is 55.
Okay,
that's the only 2 Cardinals on here.
He'll be on a summer league roster.
I feel bad for Ben Humrichus. Yeah, he's number 70.
You were so close.
I know. Well, you know what? If he'd been 69 giggity, I would have known his name.
No, you wouldn't have. If he'd been 4, you wouldn't have known his name. You mispronounced Keaton Wagler a second ago, who got drafted 5th overall.
Was it Wagler?
It's Wagler.
Well, what'd I say? Wagler?
Wagler.
It depends what county you're in.
I mean, he is a crazy story. He's the first player in the scouting network era to not be a top 100 prospect on anybody's list and be a one-and-done top 10 pick.
Yeah, you kind of called out 247 on that, right? Because they were the only ones that gave him a 3-star, but the other 2 were 4-stars.
But still didn't have him in the top 150.
No, that's true.
And the only one that did had him at number 150. So, it just a crazy rise to prominence. He had no Division I offers until about this time last year. I think it was like in April when Illinois and Minnesota both offered him. Went to Illinois and not only gets playing time, but he's their alpha for a Final Four team. It's just a crazy rise to prominence. There are a lot of people that think because of his lack of pedigree, he might be a bust in the NBA. Maybe they're right. We'll find out. But good night for guards.
I mean, you're guessing with every NBA pick.
Of course.
I hate to tell you. If you think you know, then you know less than you think you know.
Now, switching gears a little bit, we'll keep it with basketball. But there was an interesting story today in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel about Sananda Farouk, who I don't think it's any – I mean, I say it's no secret. The coaching staff has essentially said we were expecting more from Sonny last year. Like they thought they had everything in place when it came to the point guard. They obviously surrounded him with a bunch of shooters, and then they brought this guy over who's basically been a German pro for the last 5 years, and they thought he would be the answer in the middle. And he wasn't. He was kind of an analytics darling because he would dominate the teams that he was supposed to dominate, and then kind of shied away when he was faced with big challenges.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I'm we're being diplomatic.
Hey, I was on the fruit crew for a little bit.
Early on, I was like, I love this guy. We were like after we beat Indiana, like my friends and I are like toasting beers on Zoom calls to Sonny Frew, and then it.
I got to start. Ian's in there fixing his hair, like he's ready for the YouTube stream.
He's getting ready for the stream, baby.
I looked over and he's like adjusting his hair. And
he's doing it for the listeners.
It completely caught me off guard.
He's doing it for the listeners.
Like you look at me on here, and people are like, "Did he just wake up?" Like Ian's over here, like parting his hair and getting it ready. He's like,
he went on a date last night.
He's over. He wants to look fly, as the kids say.
I understand. Here was they talked to Sananda for the story. And here's what he talks about. Here's what he says when he says, why he left Louisville for Marquette. He said, quote, "I was really looking to have a big impact on the team, help as much as possible, but also be able to expand my game because I felt a little limited in my role, limited in the way that I got used last season. So I was looking to have bigger usage and then have a good bond with my coach who really looked at you as a person more than a fixture or a player. So I really looked at the coach's personality."
I forget. Remind me who Marquette's coach is, right?
Shaka Smart.
Okay, it's Shaka Smart. That's what I thought it was.
So the first part, I don't have any issue with because I feel like every player who transfers talks about how they're going to be used in a different way here. They're going to showcase more of their game. I think Carter Knox said the same thing like 2 days ago when talking about what he was looking forward to with Louisville compared to Arkansas. He's like, I feel like it's a better fit. Like, whatever. That's Isaac McNeely last year was talking about how he's going to show off his full game. Didn't happen, but it's nice to dream when you go to it when you get a new start.
I have a little issue with the fact that other than getting through on the pick and roll going downhill, his offensive game was about as limited as mine.
It was.
So I mean,
you're not wrong.
And I feel like I would like to see them use him more in that scenario, but then again, you can only do so much with
I feel like they wanted him to shoot from three more. Like they would talk, like he passed up a lot of looks.
I think when he hit one, like the announcers like lost their minds. They're like, he's like 3 for 3 or am I thinking
he was 5 of 9, I think, for the season.
Well, Khalifa too was the same way though. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but Ollie, like at least you knew that was part of his game. Yeah. He was going to let it fly. Like it felt like Fruit passed up a lot of shots. Now I don't know if that was by direction. I can't imagine it was though because of the way that Kelsey and Cassidy and guys like they talked before the season about how they thought he was going to shoot more threes than he had shot in Germany. But the whole thing about having a good bond with his coach, I mean, we got a little bit of an insight into it on that documentary, that Sports Illustrated doc that came out at the end of the season where they're in the film session. It's after they've lost to SMU in the regular season. They're getting ready for the ACC tournament. And this is about the time where Frew gets benched in favor of the Greek kid whose name, how did I just completely
Z-Man.
Zugras, thank you.
I just called him Z-Man all year.
Yeah, I think you were the only one.
Well, I mean, it was
Vangelis Zugras.
Yeah, any other way I would have just butchered his name, so I just figured it was easier to do that.
So they're in that film session, and Kelsey is basically like, he's like you're supposed to be like you're the tag man on this play. Like, you're not being physical enough with the Turkish center for SMU who just was catching the ball right around the rim and dunking it. And he's like, and he kind of goes off, and he's like, I don't know what we have to do to get through to you. And he says, I've tried being nice to you all season long, Sonny. That hasn't worked. So maybe I'm gonna try to be a little bit of an a-hole to you and see if we can get you going. And like, I think that gave a little bit of an insight into just how you could, like, there were murmurs in January that the staff was very frustrated with Frew not being who they thought he was going to be. And that, I mean, I said it on the show, I think it ended up panning out that way, that there were going to be staff changes based largely on misevaluations of centers from the past couple of years. And I think Frew was the biggest miss. If he's talking about, I mean, I hate that he felt that he didn't have a bond with Pat Kelsey, but do you really think that you're going to get treated with kid gloves by Shaka Smart if you're not out there being as physical as he wants you to be in the post? It's going to be the same way every time. Like, it was clear that they tried different things with Frew to get him to be the player that they wanted him to be, and none of it just resonated at all. So I don't know if that's what he's talking about, but the whole comment about feeling like he didn't have a bond with his coach as a person, that took me a little bit off guard, Trev.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just maybe bitter saying because you thought you deserved more playing time. I don't know how you really thought that because I thought they gave him plenty of opportunities to go out there and do his thing and
started for like 85% of the year.
And I know he played well. Like you kind of said, you nailed it with the, I guess you called him analytics darling, where there you look at games like he would score 14 points on, and have like 8 rebounds, and then you don't hear from him for.
Oh, he's giving you 18 and 8 against NGIT, baby.
Which, by the way, I believe Shaka Smart coached Miles Turner, so if he wants to do that, he's got. Shaka knows how to handle guys that just disappear for weeks on end, especially at big men, because he also coached Mo Bamba as well, if I'm not mistaken, at Texas. And Jackson Hayes, too.
Right, yeah.
Shaka was like on that verge of every year bringing in the big man, the raw big man sensation, and it's been 1 year in bounds.
Yeah. His other quotes, by the way, real quick. I know we have to take a break.
Also, I like that they call him Sonny. I don't know why. Sonny, I feel like it's condescending almost saying no.
He says, the biggest thing I was looking for was for a program or more of a coach that trusted me and my abilities. First of all, someone who cared about me as a player to develop, but also wants to push me the furthest skill set-wise. I feel like most coaches in general talking about the transfer portal are looking for, this player fits this position, he can help me here. This player can do that. But Shaka, Coach Smart was about you as a person, what's important to you, how you think, the way you think, and how do you fit on my team, not only as a basketball player, but also as a person, as a human being.
That's some harsh jabs thrown at PK a little bit there.
Because, Pat Kelsey's talked about his connection with his players and loving them as human beings and all that stuff, and it clearly Frew just did not feel that level of connection. But look, it's basketball.
What if it's a German thing?
It's a big business. You're getting paid 7 figures to produce. If you're not going to produce, people aren't going to kiss your butt. It's the way that it goes. Let's take a break. When we come back, we have a hodgepodge of other topics to get to, but we'll get to the Game Day Men's Health text line first. 502-414-1450. We'll check with the YouTube chat as well. It's your hour up next. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1 Big X Sports Radio.
I got 99 problems, but a ain't one. Hit me. 99 problems, but a
All I can think of is that video of that guy drinking the cranberry juice on the electric scooter during COVID.
Oh, yeah, I love that
It's
guy.
fantastic. It was a terrific video.
That was a great video. I loved watching that video every time.
We got intern Ian now on the producer ones and twos to the wall to my left as we get into hour number 2 here of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Intern Ian, how's the week been? I understand you got a date tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, I had
Or
a
was
date.
that last night?
That was last night. I had a date last night. It went smooth. It wasn't too bad.
Where are the 19, 20-year-olds going on dates these days?
Well, I took her to Malibu Jacks.
Oh, you took her to the Jacks. Whoa.
The Jacks. I've never heard anybody called the Jacks in my life.
We run the Jacks.
You run the Jacks?
We run the Jacks. We get in there. Oh, you get the card. We're riding go-karts. We're dominating games, the ones that still work. We love going to the Jacks.
What's your best spot of the Jacks? What's your favorite part of the Jacks?
I love the basketball game. I love trying to set the high score there. It's shockingly, and this is showing my age, I get a little bit tired at the end. It's a high hoop.
It happens.
It's a high hoop. What'd you guys do at the Jacks?
Well, we went to play mini golf, and then we went to the arcade, and that was like an hour long probably because I don't have much of a budget, so we went down the strip along Malibu Jacks and just kind of looked at the places down there.
Little party mart action. Little, I don't know how much there is to see around there. That El No Paul in the corner over there.
There's a half-price books, a PetSmart, Five Below as well. We went there.
Does that work for you? The Malibu Jacks date?
It always does.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Look, but tried and true. Hitting them at the Jacks.
It's a go-to spot when I go for a first date every time.
It's a great story for if you marry this girl. Where did mom and dad first go on their first date? Malibu Jacks.
The Jacks.
The Jacks.
And we went with the Canes after. Then I took her. Then we went to the park in Seneca Park, and then we went to Grater's Ice Cream.
This is a very involved date. 4 stops for a first date.
I like to do a lot of things.
I can tell. Jeez. It's also different parts of the city. Malibu Jacks and Seneca Park is not a short trek.
I tried going downtown to her apartment, but then my parents were really upset with me, so then they sent me back home.
That's a tough look for a date end.
It definitely is a very tough look for a date end.
You're trying to go back to her apartment, and your
your
parents said no.
Yeah, it was like a very shoddy part of like downtown, so my parents.
Your parents nixed the location of going. They weren't just.
They
like,
have me on Life
360.
They know where I'm at 24/7.
Oh man!
Yeah, the spot that she happens to be living in is like a really awful spot.
How did you bring that up to her? Where it was like, my parents think where you live is too dangerous for me to go hang out.
How did I bring it up to her? I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna be able to come back there until like my parents really get to know you because they hate that place.
Oh my gosh, this is wild.
So I'm never gonna be able to hit back that. So
I mean, how did she handle this?
She was fine.
Okay, are you sure she was fine?
Well, she hasn't texted me. She didn't text me at all this morning. I had to text her, so I'll see when the response comes later.
All right.
But it does not look too great so far.
It's a rough look for the end of the day.
The end of the day really ruined it for me. I don't know about it anymore.
I can imagine that's a tough look. I can't imagine somebody being like, "Hey, my parents don't approve of where you live, so we can't hang out."
To the chick that I have in Lexington.
Oh, look at you. This is to be young. To be young.
To be young. It's a great life.
What are you gonna do? Gameday Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. Before we get to your text, I saw something during the break where I guess Lamont Paris, the South Carolina men's basketball coach, had a press conference today doing the standard like summer update and talking to the media, answering questions about the roster that he put together in the first days of workouts and all that stuff. And one of the things that he said, they were talking about his portal class, and he said, we were the highest bidder for every transfer portal player that we brought in. And I was like, I don't know if that's something that you want to publicize. It's kind of like all these guys are just here because we paid them more money than everybody else. It's not for love of South Carolina. It's not because they believe in what we're building here. It's not because they believe we can win basketball games. It's because we paid them more money than everybody else. Maybe that's one that you keep close to the vest. Maybe that's one that you don't share with the rest of the world. Because I don't think it's a great look for South Carolina basketball going into next season. Ian, if that's you, do you just say, like, we're not disclosing that information?
I like money, so I'll just take it.
Well, there is that. All right, let's go to the YouTube chat real quickly. Again, Big X Sports Radio Louisville. You can chime in on the right side of that live feed. Another comment about Trevor's stretched out shirt. Did Trevor have two heads when he originally bought that shirt? Trevor?
You mean more like two necks?
I think two heads stretched it out. That neck is just, it's turkey necking. It's looking bad.
He's out of the room right now.
Okay.
I think I'll take a little break.
That sounds right. He's smoking, I assume.
Yeah.
Scaglywag says, glad the Michael page can officially be turned and we can stop talking about it. Best of luck to him in the NBA. Hope the Donovan friendship is real and that they can team up to help out down the road. So do I.
Yeah.
Ben says, yikes, that's what TK looks like? Ladies, I don't blame you all for keeping your distance. That's not very nice. It's also, Trevor's been on the YouTube stream for the last 3 weeks, too.
Yeah, how did you not notice that?
Come on.
3 weeks, man.
82 Atlantic says, credit Trevor playing a hip hop song that came out after 1991. Yeah, he's every now and then he dives into the semi-modern
He has
era.
some flavor sometimes.
Producer Key says, was the obnoxious level of Michael propaganda retweets from the Hoops account off-putting to anyone else? I get putting out a tweet and maybe a retweet or two, but 18, yes, I counted, seemed excessive. I didn't realize they did that much. I saw the videos that they put out. I saw, they put out the press release. They did all that stuff. I didn't realize they retweeted 18 different things. That does feel like maybe
that's some elite level glazing right there.
It's the proper use of the phrase glazing. It may be a little bit much, but they're doing what they're supposed to. I guess you can't take fan sentiment into account when you're dealing with quote unquote one of your own. So I get it. Someone's got a job to do. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
82 Atlantic says, in fairness, nobody cares about South Carolina men's basketball in the first place. Well, I assume South Carolina fans do, at least mildly at this point. They've been to a Final Four in the last decade, for God's sake. Haven't done anything else, but what are you going to do? All right, Game Day Men's Health. Text line is 502-414-1450. A reminder, Game Day Men's Health is redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy, and more. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to find out what they can do for you. Texter says, did the Camry at least take Trevor out to dinner after? I don't know what that was in reference to. I think that was a very end of the peak show. I don't know. We'll find out when Trevor comes back in. Trevor's stepdad says, I'd look like this too if my chotch of a dad was stealing my moment on national TV. This screenshot, which you can't see on the stream, it's Michael looking very upset as his dad is talking about himself immediately after his son has the moment of his life. I'm telling you, there's a parting of the ways coming sometime soon.
Possibly, yeah.
Texas Tampa card here. If you had to bet, what happens first? U of L men's basketball making a Final Four or the U of L football team making the college football playoff? Internine, I'll let you take a first swing at this one. What do you get first? A men's basketball back to the Final Four or the football team making the playoff?
I could see the football team making the playoffs first, to be honest. It's something I would see a lot more likely than the Final Four because the Final Four is a much bigger stretch to get down to.
It's tough to make a Final Four.
Yeah, it's very tough to make a Final Four compared to the college football playoff, I think, for our team.
I think if they were making odds for this, football would have the lower odds. One, because they get the first crack. They have a chance to make the playoff before the men's basketball team gets a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. And I do think they've got a decent shot this year, especially if they can get off to a hot start and knock off Ole Miss and SMU in the first month. I would probably say the football team, just because they've flirted with it a couple times in the last couple of years. The games that kept them out of the playoff were very winnable. You feel like those are correctable mistakes. It feels like they've got the hard part down, which is beating the teams they're not supposed to beat. If they can just stop screwing up against mid-pack teams in the ACC in games they have no business losing, they should be right there. With the Final Four, we just won a game in the tournament for the first time in 8 years this past season. So I know we've got a strong team. You can have really, really good teams and still not make the Final Four.
Absolutely.
So I think football gets the better odds.
Yeah.
If it's me. Who are we more concerned about? Michael's dad or intern Ian's overbearing parents with his dating life?
Let's go with Mikhail Brown's dad. I think my parents are fine. They just protected me.
I get it.
I can understand it.
I mean, look, I
love my parents.
When
my
my
dad's
kids
watching this right now, so he better hear me saying this.
Yeah, it's a good answer then. my kids, when they get to a certain age, I'm already terrified. Like, my kids are 6 and 4, and I already get terrified thinking about them as teenagers and getting out and just remembering what we did as kids. And although I was talking with somebody about this, kids don't drink as much in, like, I don't want to speak for you in college, but I feel like the drinking here locally at the high school level is not what it was when I was growing up.
Oh,
like,
definitely not.
Like, it was, I mean, you were drinking at, like, your first, like, experiences were, like, 13, 14 years old, which is way too young. And then 50, I mean, we're going to the infield for Oaks. We were doing stuff that we had no business doing at 15, 16, 17. And I was talking to somebody who knows Will Hankey really well, who's now a walk-on on the basketball team. And he was saying, you know, when he was in high school, I was kind of like mentoring him and saying, you know, don't get involved with and he was like, we're too young to drink. He's like 16, 17 years old. Was that your experience growing up? It's not how it used to be on that wavelength?
It's definitely not how it used to be. Like, I didn't touch any kind of alcohol until I was my first year in college. Like, the first week in college was the first time I ever touched alcohol, and it was like a Blue Ribbon beer.
I feel like that's becoming more of the norm, and it's probably a good change.
Well, yeah, I think just kids are a lot more afraid of the law nowadays. Like and like everything gets seen on the internet now with all the.
That's true.
With your digital footprint you have nowadays. Today's world, you're just more concerned about having that be seen to the public when you get a future career. So you're thinking about your future a lot more now because everybody can see what you're doing online.
It's a great point. I mean, I can't imagine like stupid young Mike doing stuff that would have been like, you know, like I'm going like I won't give examples, but yeah, if that had gotten posted on like even Snapchat or whatever, I feel like it would have been tough. Would have been bad. I never did anything that was overly terrible, but like you had the same nights where you were a little overserved as a kid, and like you're saying stupid stuff and you're doing stupid stuff and just nothing illegal, but just embarrassing. I wouldn't have wanted that on the internet. Texas, have you seen this picture of Todd Golden and Mark Zuckerberg at the UFC White House fight? No.
What does it look like?
I see it. Oh, they're wearing like matching outfits.
Ooh.
So Golden looks like, I'll make another college reference for you. Golden is like 20 years younger than Zuckerberg, but he looks like the frat bro taking a picture with like the pledge who's desperately trying to get into the fraternity. Like that's what this picture looks like. They're wearing similar outfits. They're like Zuckerberg seems like he is like Golden's the alpha in this picture, and I don't get it. I do like the joke that's attached to it, though. It says Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook when he was 20. Todd Golden used Facebook to launch into girls' DMs when they were 20. That's
amazing. That's
amazing. Not untrue.
What a world.
Texas' Michael Brown, Nate Ament, and Yaxel Lendeborg will all be busts in the NBA. Ian, you haven't had a chance to talk about the Michael Brown stuff. How do you feel about Michael's game translating to the NBA?
I think his game will translate like very good to the NBA with the way his play style is, but the position that he's at right now might really hurt his game. He's at one of the most dysfunctional organizations in the NBA right now in Brooklyn, so that really concerns me if he can actually be able to play well in his like first like 3 years in the NBA until he gets like traded off to some team that actually could do him better.
I mean, his best skill, I think, he's an otherworldly passer.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you don't have really good players to pass the ball to,
it really hurts.
It's hard for you to shine. He's going to have to be, I think, more of a scorer than he would have been right away if he'd been drafted into a better situation. But yeah. I think he's got the potential to handle it. And like you said, I think that there's a real world where his best days start 3 or 4 years down the line, and we start to kind of see who he can be as a player. Yeah. Texas says, was the ESPN interview with Michael's family meant for Christopher Brown or Michael Brown? Hardly surprising, but genuinely embarrassing how that went. Look, as someone who has received DMs from this guy for the last 5 months, there was no part of me that was shocked that the dad took over the interview and made it about himself. And if he has another kid that goes to the NBA, he's going to do the exact same thing. This is who he is. This is part of the problem that we dealt with during this winter. There's no other way to put it. There's no question about it. Let's see here. Chris the Plumber says, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I don't know if I can read that, Chris. I'm going to read the second part. Michael's dad stole the show with how hard he worked for Michael to get drafted 6th, all while Michael looked on with a random picture of K9 behind him. My God, I think we finally have our answer. Here's my take. Michael's dad shut him down. I'd say Michael would have liked to have maybe given it a go, but daddy's boss. I almost can't be mad at Michael. Am I off base, Mike? Oh, by the way, the coaches were there. I truly think Michael's dad wouldn't allow PK to be there. I mean,
I wouldn't put it past him.
Let's say that this is the story, okay? That Michael was, because, I can tell you beyond it. Well, the one thing that I won't do on the show is say he was never hurt. Because I can tell you beyond the shadow of any doubt, Michael Brown was dealing with a back injury. The severity of that injury is what's up for debate here. So let's say that towards the end of the season, at some point, Michael's dad said, look, I know we've been saying you're going to play in the NCAA tournament. They've cleared you. You're not playing in the NCAA tournament. It's not worth it. You've already solidified yourself as a lottery pick. You're good to go. You're not playing. If that's the story here, I still don't think you can completely absolve Michael Brown from a little bit of blame. If blame is the word that you want to use here, he's a 19-year-old man. He's still young. You're still trying to find your way. I remember being a freshman in college. I remember being kind of in that world between young adult and full blossomed adult. Like, you're still coming home during the holidays. You're still spending summer at home with your parents. You're still kind of trying to figure things out. I get that. But he's been groomed to be a professional for the last 5 or 6 years of his life. You at some point have to be the master of your own life. And I feel like for a lot of people, that moment is when you get to be like 18, 19, 20 years old. And he's not living a normal life. We're talking about a professional existence where you're going to make millions and millions of dollars. You've already made millions and millions of dollars. If he really wanted to be a competitor and lay it all on the line for the program that was responsible for his first millions and millions of dollars, he could have played. He could have said, look, Dad, love you. I'll always take your advice into consideration, but I'm playing in the NCAA tournament. And we've brought it up a number of times, and it does bear repeating. There were several other players in similar positions to Michael Brown, guys that knew they were going to be lottery picks, that had essentially nothing to gain by playing in the NCAA tournament, that were dealing with lingering injuries, that said, to hell with that, I'm playing. I only get one shot at March Madness. I want to make some memories. At some point, it just can't all be about my future. You don't get another shot at this. You don't get another chance to play in the NCAA tournament. I need to experience this. I'm playing through the pain. At the end of the day, whether it was his dad's influence or his agent's influence or whoever's influence, Michael Brown chose not to play in the NCAA tournament. And I can't completely absolve him from, again, if you want to use the word blame, I can't completely absolve him from the blame of how things played out. Do we think that's fair, Ian?
I think it's totally fair for him. His back injury was probably very bad. So,
I mean, look, if your dad had said last night, like, I don't want you to go to this girl's apartment, but you had said, I think this is my future. I'm in love with this girl. It's love at first sight. I'm going to marry this woman. You could have chosen to go there, you know?
But I chose not to because I feel like it wasn't worth it.
Because it was day one.
My parents pay for my college, so that's my future right there compared to a girl.
So you don't have a 7-figure NIL deal. It's a little bit of a different situation.
Very big difference.
I get that. The Riddler has texted in now. He says, after yesterday's discussion, I put a lot of thought into creating a least cool Josh Hurt Things tournament. I narrowed it down to, in no particular order, a top 8 candidates. 1, failure to sue the pants off the NCAA for the banner. 2, Kenny Payne's contract and buyout language. Now, this wasn't for the past year, though, Riddler. The least cool person tournament is for the athletic season that just ended. The Kenny Payne contract, that was years ago. 3, letting Georgia off the hook and not getting a dime for it. 4, the AG straw hat, the Ag Day straw hat fiasco. 5, commitment to mid-things holding us back like Adidas and the ACC. 6, not doing something about basketball attendance at home games. 7, coaching searches, extensions being handled poorly. And then 8, not fundraising effectively or early enough. There you go. That's the Riddler's Josh Hurdley School stuff tournament. Although, again, you can't. I think the Kenny Payne one is the only one that doesn't really fit into that if we're doing 25-26. I love that Ag Day Straw Hat Fiasco is right ahead of not getting us out of the ACC. Two things of equal importance when it comes to college athletics. Texter says, Dolphins guy here. What's up, Dolphins guy? Mike, can we get a breakdown of your evaluation for how Vince Marrow has done so far in traditional recruiting? Portal class and retention was obviously solid this year. It feels like we're getting poached left and right at the moment in traditional recruiting. Also, Kentucky clearly has some recruiting momentum, and it's so hard not to compare to them. I think that this is completely fair. You're looking at, this is the class that Louisville seems to have given the most effort into putting together since Jeff got the job here. And it was a class that for a long time was looking to be like really, really good, potentially historically good. And now all of a sudden we are getting to a point where I don't want to say it's falling apart, but you've had a handful of decommits and you've got, let's just say it. Like, there are rumors out there that Allen Evans from Trinity, who is currently the highest rated commit in Louisville's 27 class, is going to flip. There's talk about Vanderbilt coming in with a bigger offer. There's been some talk about other schools getting involved. And if that happens, it will be a very tough look for the staff because Allen Evans is a top 100 overall prospect in the country. He is one of the better players to come out of this area in a long time, it seems like at least. And, oh, by the way, he goes to the same high school that Jeff and Brian Brom went to and the one that they've recruited very well since getting the job. So if that happens, all of a sudden you've lost the alpha dog in your class, at least according to the recruiting rankings. You throw in, the other players that have decommitted recently. You throw in the fact that Kentucky seems to be piecing together a top 15, top 20 class, while Louisville is slipping out of the top 25. And it's hard not to take notice of that. I do think the staff's overall take on traditional recruiting, even though they've put more of an effort into this 27 class than the prior 3, they're still not going to go nuts with spending in traditional recruiting, and I understand why. Jeff's philosophy is sort of like every year you're re-recruiting the same prospects that were getting ready for college 2, 3, 4 years before. If there's a player that, like, let's say Allen Evans does flip. They lose him to Vandy. He goes there. He redshirts a year. He doesn't play as much as he wants to as a freshman. He's unhappy. He feels like promises were being made. Maybe they take down his NIL money. Like, you might be able to bring him back into the fold in 2 years at a time where he's able to make much more of an impact as a redshirt sophomore than he would have been able to as a true freshman or a redshirt freshman. That's kind of the way that they view these things. They are saving up the big money that they have to spend for 2 things. The first is bringing back their best players, which is something that they've done a great job of doing, again, over these first 4 off seasons. They have been terrific at re-recruiting their roster. And then 2, they want to go out there and use the other big money they have on proven players in the transfer portal that they can be plug-and-play guys. They want to look at the positions where they have vacancies in their starters, top line of the depth chart, and they want to have the money to go out there and get players that they know are going to be able to come in and produce. So that leaves traditional recruiting as sort of a distant number 3. I'm not saying it's the right philosophy. I'm saying that that's where they are. So I guess it's not a huge shock that they've recruited they've gotten commitments from some pretty highly touted players. And then as the cycle has continued, those same players have been getting more lucrative financial offers from other programs. And they're like, hey, can you up our NIL? And Louisville's basically saying, like, no, we're not going to do that for an incoming freshman who, might hit the portal in 2 years. Probably not going to see the field for us this year. We've got to pick and choose. I think they've picked and chosen who they want to prioritize. One of the guys that they love A.J. Tillman. They love Jahad Brown. I love Jahad Brown. You can't give everybody money as incoming freshmen and still have money left over to give to the Isaac Browns, the Clev Lubins, and the Tyler Thompsons of the world.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. When we come back, a couple other football thoughts, and then we'll get back to the text line. at 502-414-1450. It's the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical. It's the Wednesday edition here on 1450 and 96.1 Big X Sports Radio.
But it's not enough. I get on it. Everybody gotta do it. Everybody gotta do it.
4 o'clock hour here.
Watching
Mike Rutherford Show, Wednesday edition, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. Trevor Kelsey, intern Ian, both in the house today as we roll along in what is going to wind up being a scorching hot weekend here in Louisville. I think it's gotten hotter today. The good thing is the humidity out there is not terrible. Like it was so comfortable sitting outside last night. It's been comfortable being outside today, but I think it's going to start getting, it's going to feel like the middle of summer coming up this weekend. Hopefully everyone gets out there. I think we're headed to a pool tonight. Maybe a little lakeside action after we get here. Maybe I'll bring the trophy in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who's behind the mic back there? I can't see. Is it Ian or is it Trevor now?
It's me right now.
Okay, Ian, I've got have you been into the World Cup? Or are you a World Cup guy?
I'm not much of a soccer guy, no.
Okay, I'm not the biggest soccer guy in the world. I still get into the World Cup. We're now getting into the third matchups of pool play, which means the two games from the same pool. They're going on at the exact same time because they don't want match fixing. So we've got Bosnia and Herzegovina leading Qatar right now 2-1 at halftime. Switzerland and Canada are scoreless. Later tonight, we will have a matchup between South Korea and South Africa. Would you care to venture a guess as to the last time that we had a World Cup matchup of directional countries like South Korea and South Africa? When do you think the last time it is that happened?
I'm going to go with 2008.
Way longer. 1974, a showdown.
74, wow.
Between the East Germans and the West Germans, which now no longer exists.
That's a crazy one to have.
That's the last time that we had a directional matchup in the World Cup. But we'll get that tonight. South Korea versus South Africa. That'll be late night at the same time, 9 o'clock. Czechia and Mexico, who's already won that group. I think they've won. I know they've advanced.
Mexico won their group?
Yeah, they 2-0-0. Nobody else has. I think South Korea is 1-0-1. So I don't think there's any shot. Again, not great at math. I guess maybe if I know Mexico's advanced. I don't know if they've won the group. And then at 6 o'clock, you've got I think Group B, Morocco, Haiti on FS1, and then Scotland and Brazil going at it on Fox. So we're getting there. And then, of course, tomorrow the Americans back in action, even though we have locked up first place in our group. I'm excited about the 10 o'clock kickoff time. It's right up my alley. I enjoy the later starts, get the kids down, can watch the match by myself. United States taking on Turkey from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. That'll be a 10 o'clock kickoff on Fox. At the same time, Paraguay and Australia will be going at it as we wrap up group play. Excited for the knockout stages.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a great time.
Go USA. Let's make it happen.
Let's
Couple of quick football nuggets before we get back to the text line. One, this is another great mile marker of the offseason, but the ACC football kickoff, a.k.a. the ACC Media Days, is right around the corner, July 16th in Charlotte. U of L has announced today the 3 players who will be representing the program in Charlotte. Not a shock. Quarterback Lincoln Keenels. I think Jeff has always sent his quarterback. That's kind of a common thing for programs to do. And then the other 2 players, one, your best defensive player, Clev Lubin, is going. The third one may be a little bit of a surprise. Lance Robinson from the offensive line, who will be making the move from guard to center this season. He'll be the third representative. So those are the 3 players that will be talking to the media coming up next month in Charlotte. Feels good that we're getting to the point where it's all right. It's media day is right around the corner.
Oh yeah,
football's it's almost here.
Really gets my hopes up. Really gets me a little jolly and excited.
It's basically right here.
Yeah,
we're basically there. It's fine. Also, do you play, Ian, the EA Sports college football video game?
I do. I play those a lot.
Are you a big video game guy?
I'm a pretty big video game guy.
See, I'm desperate to get back into it. I haven't played video games like 20 years, but I'm waiting for my kids to get into it so I can selfishly just start playing again. They play Mario Kart on their iPads.
Yeah, we play Mario Kart. I play Mario Kart with my buddies. We make that a drinking game.
I do. Well, I mean, yeah, it was back in, it hasn't been that long since we were doing that in college as well.
Exactly.
But now, like the iPad version, it's dialed down. But I do every now and then, like late night, I pick up the iPad. Like, I'll get a couple races in here. Let's see what's going on here. See if we still got it. But the EA Sports video game will be coming out here shortly. And we found out yesterday the overall Louisville ranking is an 84. They're the 20th ranked team in this game. We found out today Isaac Brown is a 92 in this game. That makes him the 4th highest rated tailback.
Ain't shocked. That's Isaac Brown right there.
What's that?
I ain't shocked. It's the best running back right there in the league.
I think he's better than fourth.
I probably would. I would have thought maybe at least a top 2, but I could still take a 4 at being a 92 overall. He's still gonna be fun to play with in NCAA 26, 27.
He has a 95 speed rating and a 95 change of direction rating, according to the EA Sports people here. Let's see, 98 acceleration also.
That acceleration is very crucial. That's going to be able to let him get through the holes so easily.
Who's ranked higher than him? Now I've got they don't have the details about that.
I saw from Duke Watson's story. I think I saw Ahmad Hardy's above him. Let's see here real quick. I had to go to the EA's channel real quick.
Yeah, see if you can find that for me.
Yeah,
I need to know. I get if you want to bring the injuries up. I understand that. But if we're talking about a video game where players shouldn't be getting that hurt, I feel like he belongs at the very least in the top 2. All I could find is last year's ratings. Let's see. Ole Miss's Kawan Lacey and Missouri's Ahmad Hardy are both a 96 overall. See, they've got I guess Isaac is tied with L.J. Martin from BYU.
Yeah,
at a 92 overall.
And Mark Fletcher's above him. Mark Fletcher.
Is that the other one?
Yeah, Mark Fletcher's the third.
Okay, well he's better than Mark Fletcher.
And then he's tied with also Antoine Raymond as well.
This Google response is just not. It's not ideal. I mean, okay.
It's weird.
I mean, L.J. Martin. I'm looking at the stats.
I had to go to Twitter on that.
Like, he put up he ran for 222 yards on Scott Satterfield.
Yeah.
Whatever. He ended the season, held to 95 yards in the regular season finale, and then the Big Ten championship, 19 carries, 76 yards. I'm not impressed. Just saying.
Nothing like Isaac would do.
Biggest games in the schedule. At Iowa State, 15 yards rushing. At Texas Tech, 35 yards rushing.
Ooh. Yeah, Texas Tech has like a top 5 defense too.
Just saying. TCU, 88 yards rushing. He got held under 100 a lot. And on way more carries than Isaac had. I'm not buying this video game ranking.
Yeah.
I'm going to bat for Isaac Brown. If he's healthy, he's the best running back in the country.
EA's delusional.
Delusional
EA added again.
Game Day Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. Dave, the teacher from Jeffersonville, said Sananda Frew, least cool person of the year. Just kidding, but maybe he would have gotten more playing time if he played better. LOL. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take a huge run at Sananda. He clearly was hoping his experience at Louisville would go better. His coaches were clearly hoping the experience would go better. For whatever reason, it just didn't work. I mean, I don't need to get into he shied away, it seemed like, in the big moments. Having said that, I'm also not going to gloss over how well he played in our first NCAA tournament win in 9 years. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds against South Florida and was fantastic in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Was not very good against Michigan State 2 days later. That's kind of, I mean, against the teams with power conference size and skill, he wasn't up for the challenge. Against teams like South Florida that were good but didn't have the type of size and skill to compete with somebody like Sananda Frew, he could kind of dominate. Yeah. And that's just who he was. He was sort of a microcosm of the entire team. Really good against teams that you're supposed to be good against. Not great against teams that you were hoping he would step up against. And that's why he's at Marquette. Texter says, congratulations to Kenai Roots on going 6th overall.
Oh, yeah.
Texas, wasn't Frew trying to stay at Louisville for this season until his agent convinced him of the money he could make elsewhere? Yeah.
I did see that, yeah.
I mean, that happened. That was, and this is another thing that I'm not going to fault him for. Because Louisville basically decided a month and a half before the end of the season that, like, we're not going to have Frew back. Like, it's nothing against him. It's just, it's not working. Like, this isn't a great marriage. And I think that the coaching staff and the GMs and everybody who's involved, not the GMs, but, the people who are involved in the roster assembly, I think that they all assumed that Frew would also, like, just not want to come back because, it's not working. This isn't going the way that anybody wanted it to. And I think everybody was surprised when they had their exit interviews with the players at the end of the season. You know, Sonny was kind of like, I want to stay. And I don't care about starting. I'm fine with coming off the bench. And Louisville had been operating under the assumption of he's not going to be back for weeks and weeks. And when they had the potential to bring him back, they basically were like, okay, like we're barely going to pay you. Are you cool with that? And Frew was like, yes. And then his agent, who's doing his job, by the way, I am not faulting the agent. His agent is like looking around and seeing what big men are being paid on the open market. And he's like, you're an idiot if you're going to stay here and take, like $100,000 to be a backup at Louisville when we can get you $2 million plus somewhere else. And I think finally Frew kind of like Sonny's sort of a shy guy. I think that comes out in his game a little bit. And he had, even though he's an adult, he had a little bit of a issue acclimating to life away from home. He'd never been away from home. He'd been a professional basketball player in Germany since he was 17 years old, but he'd only played in Germany. And I think it kind of took him by surprise at how hard it was to get used to not just American life, but like college life. And once he finally got comfortable, I think he just sort of, his natural inclination was to just stay where he was comfortable. And his agent kind of had to be like, dude, I can get you paid 25 times what they're going to make. You've got to think about the rest of your life and not just where you are right now. And finally, he agreed to hear out some other programs. And, I think he got about $2.5 million from Marquette, maybe a little bit more. And it's probably best for all parties concerned. But that was his initial response was like, I don't care about money. I don't care about playing time. I just want to stay at Louisville. And then his agent, again, to his credit, was like, well, no, we're not going to do that.
It's totally fair on his part.
Yeah. Texas, my God, the rumors are true. TK is back. Well, yeah, it's been for like a month.
Where have you been?
Yeah. Finally, there's another person who understands, as I do, that Mick Cronin sucks. Trevor does dislike Mick Cronin. This is true. Texas says, I watched the Michael Jackson doc on Netflix. I always thought he was guilty, but that doc did a very good job of presenting reasonable doubt in the case. Michael's defense attorney did his job very well and picked apart a lot of what seemed like clear evidence of his guilt. I feel like he's probably still guilty, but I'm less sure after watching the doc. Did it change your opinion on the case after watching it? No. I mean, I'm like you. I thought his defense attorneys did a really good job. They did what they're supposed to do, kind of the same way that Sonny Frew's agent is doing his job. Very different tasks, but both doing what they're supposed to be doing. I thought the prosecution, in hindsight, obviously had some significant missteps that allowed the defense to do what they were able to do. I still think that that there was bad stuff happening. At the very least, I think we can all agree that sharing a bed with teenage boys when you are a grown man is weird.
Was there evidence of that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the kids all admitted. Like he admitted that he shared his bed with the kids. Like in the big interview that he did on national TV that kind of broke this whole thing open. Like he is the one that brings up like we share beds and like it's like a slumber party. There's nothing wrong with it. Like their parents are okay with this 13-year-old boy sleeping in the bed with me.
That's on the parents, to be honest.
I mean,
can't even blame it on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's says yes, he did this to me. Maybe they all were disgruntled former employees. Maybe they were just kids looking for a paycheck. I think it's interesting that the family that brought the charges has never done like an interview since then. They've turned down 7-figure book deals and all this stuff. They clearly are scarred by the entire thing. But the two things that stand out to me, one, the first kid that he paid $27 million to not go to court for, like those accusations seem extremely credible. And the fact that he realized that all of this was going to come out in court and then immediately was like, we'll give you whatever you want is, I think it looks very guilty. And then the fact that the kids could identify this box in his creepy attic room that had all this pornography, that when the investigators came and searched the room, found it looked exactly like the kid said it did. it contained exactly the same type of information that the kid said it did. Like, why do you need to be sharing porno with 12-year-old boys that you're just sharing a bed with for purely friendly reasons?
Yeah,
like,
that does make it pretty odd.
I feel like something at some point. I'm not saying it happened with every kid. I'm not saying that Macaulay Culkin is lying. I'm saying that at some point I would bet money that there was something sexual that happened with these kids.
I can see that, yeah.
Texture says, James Spader, not David Spade, with the Seinfeld reference, TK. I didn't get when he said Spade, I didn't really know what that was. Thank you for clarifying. Texas, just talk about him going to Brooklyn feels like karma. Why?
What's with the brown hate, man?
I don't know. I understand that there's.
I could see it. Yeah, I know
there's hate out there. I don't understand the whole just talk about him going to Brooklyn. PRTG says, "Damn it, Trevor, you're supposed to be my Seinfeld liaison. Mike Moffat is the parking space arguer bookie with the broken thumbs in the trunk. Dan's fishing story with his son was hilarious. I can't remember it, but I remember that he told it. Fantasy draft of best family members in movie history. I'll start with the older brother, John Cusack, in Stand By Me. Best family members in movie history. The mom from The Sandlot. Great mom. Lets him go out there, get into some trouble. Not too much, but make friends. Forces him to make friends. Saves his summer. Great mom. Doing the best she can.
Amazing mom right there.
Fantastic mom. Ian, do you have a great family member from a movie?
Ooh, a great family member from a movie. That's hard. That's really hard. I can only think of that mom, to be honest. That's when you said that, it's the only mom I could think of. There's not many
stepdad trumps.
Great parents I could think right
kind of a
now
D-bag.
in a movie.
Texas LCPT should absolutely be whoever let a UK recruit take a picture with the Lamar Heisman replica, but that opens the door for anyone that would like Ronnie, the coolest person in Ocean's 11, their facility. I have no idea what that means. I mean, I think we know who it is. It's the strength coach over there, Joe Madej, who was the strength coach here for a long time. I think we figured out that's his running bib, his marathon bib that's framed up in the background of that office. That's his. I'm not going to say that he's uncool for letting him take a picture. He works for UK now. He's got that Heisman trophy. I think all the coaches got replica Heismans. Apparently that's a thing when one of your players wins it, and not a shock that he brought it with him to his office in Lexington. And if a big-time recruit, who they ended up getting, by the way, says, hey, can I take a picture with that Heisman? I'm not going to fault him for saying yes. It's weird.
Yeah.
Because that's our accomplishment. That's a Louisville quarterback. But if the kid wants to take the picture, yeah, I would do the same thing. STL Cody guy says, Trevor gets my vote for the worst person of the year. The way he mumbles all the time, I can never understand him. # free Roman. Trevor's not on the mic to defend himself here.
Yep, Trevor didn't hear a single word about that.
It's fine. Texas, I know the contest is over, but I'll donate $5 to get a breakdown of the New York election from Chris the Plumber. Now, we're not doing that. Also, maybe I'm reading into things too much, but I thought based off PK's answers in his Monday press conference, he definitely wasn't invited. I mean, I think that's to me, that's the story that he was telling. I guess there's doubt about whether or not it's true, and maybe he's got jaded feelings towards the family. And I mean, when he says, because he's asked straight up, are you going to the draft? And his answer is, Michael's got a tight-knit family and a tight-knit circle, and there's only so many spots. The implication there is they didn't have room for me. Like, they did not extend an invitation. And I'm trying to say this as cordially as possible. I tend to believe that that's the real story, but there are some people out there who are like, I think he just wants to be done with this entire thing. Regardless, the fact that he's not there does say something. I don't, especially when, like I said earlier, every other coach of a lottery pick besides Bill Self, who's recovering from surgery, was there last night, including the fired Hubert Davis, who's there for Caleb Wilson, because Caleb Wilson says, I wanted him there. I mean, Calipari doing his annual thing where he's somehow weaseling his way into on camera every single pick. I don't know how he's doing that.
Calipari just does that.
He's there on camera for the Knicks game. He's on camera. He's just everywhere. He's everywhere. But that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And clearly, whether it was PK's decision or the family's decision, it does provide some insight into the fact that there was very clearly a rift. I don't think that should be news to anybody, but if you doubted it, I think that that's pretty solid evidence to the contrary. Texter says, did Skip Prosser comment on Chris Paul when he was drafted? Probably. I see what you're doing there, though. Wiener Dog Guy says, I'm seeing a lot of UK fans saying that Jahide Brown is going to flip to UK. Are you hearing this? No. They've been saying that since he committed to Louisville. He has been adamant. I mean, I think Jahide got interviewed about this a couple of weeks ago, and he said, like in no uncertain terms, 100% committed to Louisville. No chance I'm going anywhere else. Maybe things have changed since then. I'd be super disappointed, knowing him, knowing his dad a decent amount, if they were to flip to UK after being so adamant in their commitment to Louisville. Now, I know he flipped from Indiana, but he didn't say the types of things about IU when he was committed there, which was a short period of time, that he said about Louisville. I'd be super bummed out if he left, for sure. Little Dumper says, intern Ian, never tell your end of date story again.
Well, I wasn't planning on talking about it anymore. Jeez, Little Dumper. Why you be so aggressive, man?
Texter says, Trevor Shaka Smart did not coach Miles Turner. Don't let Trevor know that. Texter says, I would say Final Four more likely than college football playoffs since 2015, given that expectations are somewhat lower. I think the odds would be similar.
It'd be close, but I think football will have the edge just by a little bit.
If we're just taking things and if we're looking at things as realistically as possible, or just as simple as possible.
Yeah.
12 teams make the college football playoff. Louisville is being projected to be kind of in that 18 to 22 range, according to these early rankings. That sort of puts them right outside of that top 12. And then, of course, you've got the chance to win the ACC, and it doesn't matter if you're in the top 12. You're going to be in the playoff at that point, unless you're Duke and you lose 4 non-conference games.
Yeah.
And then with men's basketball, we're sort of in that 11 to 15 range. Like, it's similar to how far we are to being outside that top 4. But again, it's not just the top 4 that make the Final Four. You've got some wild card teams. Upsets happen. I think I wouldn't fault anybody who takes either side. I think playoff is just a little bit more likely at this point than Final Four. Texter says, Michael Brown Sr. is just a Gen X Glenn Rutherford. My dad has not had nearly as much say in what I've done in my life, I think, as Chris Brown Sr. has had. I'm trying to think of if my dad didn't really steer me anyway. I mean, he made me choose baseball over soccer when I was 9. That's about it. Made me give up tennis when he thought it was wrecking my baseball swing when I was 11. But he still says he doesn't remember that. But once I got to high school, my decisions were pretty much my own, to an extent. The only thing that I got mad at him about, he kind of guilt tripped me into signing up for this core program at Dayton my freshman year, and it sucked. I hated it so much. I wish I'd never signed up for it. But he was like, it's a great thing. I think I did it in college. And it was 3 classes rolled into one, and it was terrible. I hated it. That was the only thing that I got mad at him about. Ohio Guy says, even though I feel bad that she couldn't get a word in during the interview with Lisa Salters, can we talk about how Michael Brown's mom is an absolute hottie? She's an attractive woman.
I was not seeing that last night.
You didn't see that?
Didn't see that. I was at the date.
Good looking woman. Didn't get a word in. Husband didn't let her talk.
Obviously.
But she was there. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's the final hour of the show. We've got a couple of odds and ends topics to get to. We've got a non-conference schedule for the women's basketball season, some new additions on the TBT roster, and a lot of text to get to from you guys on the Gameday Men's Health text line. Keep them coming at 502-414-1450. Hour number 3 is next. It's the Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1, Big X Sports Radio.
Not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on it. Somebody gotta do it. I'm mad. Somebody gotta do it. I see the G-Pad. Watch do it. We survived outside.
Hey there, New Albany. This is Mayor Jeff Gahan. It's another year here in our River City, and what better time to show your support for our high schools.
back in. It's the third hour of the Wednesday edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1, Big X Sports Radio. Gameday Mens Health text line is open at 502-414-1450. YouTube chat also open as well. Trevor Kelsey and intern Ian both in the house today. Want to remind you guys, if you've been hurt in an accident or on the job, we know it can be a little bit jarring. We know you can be confused about what steps you need to take next. The step you should take is giving the Collier Law Firm a phone call at 502-736-8141. Tony Collier and the crew, proudly serving this community for over 10 years. They've got the opponent's playbook. They know how to use it. They're going to get you the most money that you can possibly get for your recovery, and they're going to let you keep it, which is why their attorney fees start at just 25%. Big firms are going to make you sign a piece of paper that would put 40, 45, 50% of your recovery money back into that firm's pocket. At the Collier Law Firm, though, they got your back, not your wallet. Go to collierlawfirm.com for more information. That's COLYER lawfirm.com, or call them again, 502-736-8141. Hurt in an accident or hurt on the job, call your law firm. You still have intern Ian back there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Still there?
Still alive.
Is Trevor just
Trevor
napping?
distracted me a little bit, so we had to go to that commercial.
Well, that sounds about right. That's what he does. Intern Ian, I think I know the answer to this question, but are you a classical music fan?
Don't listen to an ounce of classical music in my life.
Can you at least respect classical music?
I can respect classical music, absolutely.
There is
something I don't listen to.
That's fine. But there is big news in the world of classical music that just happened today, which is kind of cool for anybody who doesn't even listen to music.
All right.
There's a lost notebook from Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, perhaps
Mozart.
perhaps the most famous composer of all time, that has been found approximately 350 years after it was written. When Mozart was 22 years old, 4 years before his first opera came out in 1782, he was working as a music tutor while studying in Paris. Now, 2.5 centuries later, I said 3.5, 2.5, the 44-page notebook of the young composer that he used for his tutoring exercises has been found and identified at France's National Library. The major discovery was unearthed by Francois Pierre Gau, a curator in the library's music department, while sorting through a pile of documents ahead of his retirement. He said, quote, "I never imagined what I was about to find." He found the manuscript, which includes a dozen daily exercises and 7 pieces for flute and harp for his pupil, who was the daughter of the Duke of Guinness? Queen? I don't know. However you pronounce it, doesn't matter. Weeks earlier, he'd been looking at other teaching documents that Mozart had written and noticed some overlap in the handwriting when he came upon the notebook. He pointed to the treble clefs that are quite rounded and tilted slightly forward, as well as the bass clefs, which differ from the style the French composers typically used. It was then authenticated at the Mozart Readum Foundation in Austria and verified as being part of a music collection confiscated from the home of the Duke during the French Revolution. Pretty cool. 222 years later, we get a Mozart notebook, 44 pages long.
Exciting history right here.
Very exciting. I said 222, 248 years. Very cool. Shout out to all the Mozart lovers out there listening to the Mike Rutherford Show on a Wednesday afternoon. Couple of things to get to before we dive back into the text line. One update from the World Cup. We got some action going on right now. Bosnia-Herzegovina still leading Qatar 2-1 in the 72nd minute. We've got some action in Vancouver as well. Switzerland is up on Canada 2-1 in the 76th minute. Both of those teams, I believe, have already advanced into the next round. They're just playing for the winner of that match will win the group. If Switzerland hangs on, they will be the group winner. Canada will be the number 2, and I believe that would put Bosnia and Herzegovina as the potential number 3 selection to make it on to the round of 32. So we'll keep you updated there. Also, there's a story that's out there that's been circulating, and I think we already kind of knew this, but I guess some new audio has proved it beyond the shadow of a doubt. So Brendan Sorsby is the most controversial man in football right now. He's not going to play for Texas Tech this season after his gambling addiction became public. He's also not going to play for anybody in the NFL because they've done away with the supplemental draft for this year. His only shot at making the league is going to be as a draft pick in 2027. But there was I guess, audio that came out today from an agent who deals with Louisville primarily, who said, look, we tried to get Brendan Sorsby to come to Louisville, but the cost of him was going to be way too steep. You had to pay $1 million to Cincinnati, which I didn't know was a thing, and then he was going to demand about $6 million. This was, I'm pretty confident we've talked about this on the show, that Sorsby was one of the guys on the short list for Jeff Brom and company once the portal opened up, but that once they kind of shook the bushes to figure out what was going on there, they realized he was going to be worth way more, and it was going to be a school that had a little bit more money to throw around that was going to land him, and eventually we ended up with Lincoln Keenholz. It is, I guess, a little bit not discouraging, but like you kind of start to wonder about the what-ifs. We've got some question marks on this football team, primarily at the quarterback position. I think we all believe Keenholz can be good, but we've never seen him start a meaningful game, which is, it makes you a little bit uneasy. Imagine how different the world would be if 5 months ago we had signed Brennan Sorsby, and then 2 months after that he'd become super controversial, and then 3 months later we found out beyond the shadow of a doubt he would not be able to play for Louisville. Interning could have been a little bit of a dicey situation if Louisville had maybe more money to throw his way, or he had a lower payday coming his way and just was cool with playing for Louisville for like $3 million. We dodged a little bit of a bullet there.
We definitely dodged a bullet there. We have been in such way worse situation than with we've been probably in a way worse situation than Texas Tech is right now with Brennan Sorsby. We would have been like stumbling all over the rocks and everything.
Well, here's the clip. It's from Andrew Brandt. I don't know if we got Trevor back there who can play audio. Can you show you how to do that?
Trevor, can you try to teach me how to play the audio over here?
We'll see. We'll see if we can make this happen. Andrew Brandt, who's worked with U of L on a handful of deals, he basically was on a podcast today saying, like, Louisville was after Brennan Sorsby. They realized the payday was such that they weren't going to be able to get him, and so he ultimately chose Texas Tech. Obviously, Texas Tech has been vilified to a degree, but it's primarily based on the way that they've handled it, not necessarily the fact that they brought the kid in. If Louisville, which has been scandal-free now for at least a handful of years, had brought in Brennan Sorsby, I feel like we would once again be written about, talked about, whatever about, as all that's wrong with college athletics. As like that scarlet letter would have been once again stapled to our chest, and we would have said, we didn't know this. We had no idea this was going on, and it would have just been one more thing. All right, can we play this?
Yeah, we got the clip. Here, you want me to play right now?
Yeah, this is Andrew Brandt talking about Louisville and its simple pursuit of Brennan Sorsby.
I think I've told you this. On January 1st, as you know, I do consulting for Louisville with NIL. I reached out to Brennan Sorsby's agent. Like, what's going on here? Can we get in this? And the price was too steep. We didn't get in it from Louisville. But I heard about Texas Tech. I heard about Indiana, which was going hard after him, losing Mendoza. And they ended up with the TCU guy. So he goes there. And by the way, $1 million buyout to Cincinnati, which is now in litigation as well. And then over the past 6 weeks, we'd had the proliferation of the two areas of sports which have changed the most in the past 10 years by far, which is sports betting and NIL. I don't think I've told you this. On January 1st, as you know,
There it is. So, I mean, if you want to count, what's the old saying? Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. If you want to count your blessings about something, maybe sometimes not paying top dollar for a big-time quarterback can wind up being a good thing.
Absolutely.
And Louisville certainly dodged what would have been imagine if we had put that money into getting Brennan Sorsby and chosen to not bring back, I don't know, Isaac Brown or Clev Lubin with that money and just said, we're going all in at quarterback. He's a proven winner. We think he's going to be a superstar here. And then you get zero return on that investment, and at the same time, you get painted as everything that's wrong in college athletics again. It would have been a complete disaster.
Oh, it would have 100% would have been.
Thankfully,
I'm thankful that we were able to keep our old talent instead of going for a new guy who could have possibly put us into incredible danger for next season.
And now we got Lincoln Keenholz out there who's getting dudes out in glow-in-the-dark baseball games. So
absolutely, I could take Lincoln over any day.
We're feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
There's a new coach that has officially been added to the U of L coaching staff on the men's basketball side of things for this coming season. We've talked about this already, but they made the news official today. Tim Austin, who has coached high school basketball in Ohio for the last 27 years, is joining the Louisville staff in the role of special assistant to the head coach. He and Pat Kelsey have known each other forever. He is a guy that Kelsey, I don't think if he said this publicly, but I mean, it's not like he's just extending an olive branch to a buddy for no reason. He's a guy that Pat has said throughout his coaching tenure he's bounced stuff off of. He worked with him in a brief period when they were coaching at the high school ranks in Cincinnati, and trusted. It's not just a close friend; it's somebody whose basketball opinion he really, really values. So I do think that there's value to having Tim Austin on the staff. Here's the quote from Pat Kelsey. Did give a quote on this. There are so many brilliant high school coaches around the country, and Tim has always been one of them. He's one of the best coaches I know in any sport. He's been a tremendous sounding board and confidant to me for a long time. We are fortunate to have Tim join our staff here at Louisville. I'm honored to join Coach Kelsey and his staff to become part of the Louisville program, Austin said. The tradition, the passion, the expectations that come with wearing the Cardinal logo make this opportunity one of a lifetime. I have witnessed firsthand the unique culture and relentless passion Coach Kelsey has built at every stop of his career. I can't wait to get to work and do my part to help bring championships back to Louisville. So there you go. I mean, we've got he's coached the last 5 years at Sycamore High School in Cincinnati, led them to 2 Greater Miami Conference championships and a district title in 2025. He was named GMC Coach of the Year in 2021, which was his first year at Sycamore. He coached the Fairfield boys basketball program there and won 2 more GMC titles. Also won a state championship in 2012, their first state Final Four appearance in over 70 years. He was named the 2012 Cincinnati Enquirer Coach of the Year for that achievement. But they got to know each other when they were at Elder High School. Kelsey played with him, I believe, for a couple of seasons. I think that Austin is a year older and graduated a year earlier, but they knew each other as players. They played together on the varsity team. They also coached together at Elder when they were there at the same time. So there's a lengthy history here. There's a lot of trust here. And you can see that this is a situation where Kelsey's like, I love bringing in assistants that have the pedigree that guys like Andershek and Dixon have, but maybe I need somebody on my staff that I've known a little bit longer, that I trust fully, and I think that's the role that Austin is going to play here. So happy to have him aboard. Welcome to the city. Help us win a championship. That's where we are. We've also got a couple of other things to get to. The women's basketball non-conference schedule has been announced for this upcoming season. We don't have the dates. We don't have the times or the TV assignments for these games, I should say, but we now do have the dates. The U of L women will open the season at home on November 2nd against in-city rival Bellarmine. November 4th, 2 days later, they'll play Stetson. On November 8th, they're at Southern Indiana in Evansville. Back home on November 2nd against Lindenwood. Thursday, they're at Ball State. Jeff Walsh loves playing these road games against mid-major teams. He feels like it gets the ladies ready for tough, hostile road environments. The big one on the non-conference schedule is going to be played at the Yum Center on November 15th. That is UConn, the reigning national runners-up, right? I think they lost to South Carolina in the finals, or was it Final
can't
Four?
remember how that game went.
They won it 2 years ago. That's all that
definitely
matters.
have, yeah.
They're beasts.
Great team.
We know how good they are. They're going to be playing at the Yum Center on November 15th. 2 days later, Cards will host Tennessee State. 10 days after that, on the day after Thanksgiving, Louisville will host Akron. East Tennessee State on November 29th. The ACC-SEC Challenge game will be at Texas on December 2nd.
Be a good game too.
Home against EKU on December 6th. At Kentucky on December 9th. And then they wrap up non-conference play against Northern Kentucky on December 17th. I mean, let's just say it. This is not a overly tough non-conference schedule based on the ones that Jeff Walsh typically pieces together. You've got 3 games where these things are not like the others. And it's the UConn, Texas, and Kentucky games. Those will obviously be 3 very tough challenges. But playing this type of non-conference schedule, I'm a little bit surprised considering we have a team that's probably going to be preseason top 15. And the ACC has been a little bit top-heavy the last couple of years. Jeff knows way more about this than I do, but I'm surprised that he's not going after some more big-time challenges, because this does put you in a position where, let's say, God forbid, you lose the 3 biggest games on your non-conference schedule. You don't really have a big resume in place once you get to ACC play that can boost you up if you drop a couple of games you're not supposed to lose in conference play. So they're going to need to either, beating UConn is a tough task. Winning at Kentucky, who beat you on your home floor last year, is a tough task. Winning at Texas is a tough task. You're going to have to get at least one of those to have a quality resume-building win before conference play starts. If you lose all three, it puts pressure on you to be just as good in league play as you were a year ago if you want to be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament and potentially host the first 2 rounds at the KFC Yum Center. So, but that is the non-conference schedule. Monday, it still feels so weird to see basketball officially starting like 2 days after Halloween. Doesn't feel right, but
just don't.
That's where we are. One last thing, we've got some fresh additions to the Ville TBT team. Let me ask Ian, where do you stand in terms of the TBT? Like, do you get excited about this? Do you like this?
Oh, I like watching the TBT every single time it comes around because I used to love watching those older players when I was a kid. So
sure.
I love watching TBT.
I mean, I'm not as into it as I was when we were winning 4 games in actual basketball seasons because, I think there's the excitement for the actual basketball team should always transcend something like the TBT. But I still, especially since now they're doing the 3-game series with the Kentucky team, it'll be something we can get into next month. And they've announced 3 new players today for this year's team. Trey Lewis, guard from the ill-fated 2015-16 squad. Ray Spalding, who was before last night the second most recent Cardinal drafted in the NBA draft. And then David Johnson, who was the most recent Cardinal selected in the NBA draft before Michael Brown heard his name called last night. Those 3 guys are members of the team now. Ian, are you excited about these additions?
Oh, very excited. I used to love.
So excited you're yawning into the mic.
I'm sorry. My bad. I was mid-talk. I couldn't stop it at that point. But Ray Spalding, I loved watching him when I was a kid, and same with David Johnson. I actually went to a basketball camp in Trinity when David Johnson was still there.
Nice.
And so I got a basketball signed by David Johnson when he was still there.
So got ahead of the curve.
I like it. I like getting to see David Johnson again at TBT.
The roster as of this point now is you got the OGs, Russ Smith and Edgar Sosa.
Yeah.
You've got Malik Williams, kind of a little bit, getting a little bit older as well. Then you've got Jalen Withers. Remember him?
I love Withers. He's one of the younger guys too, way younger.
Yeah. Angel Nunez, a blast from the past as well. And then Jalen Johnson, who I think we can categorize as an OG as well. I think his last year here was that 2014-15 team, I think. Maybe 2015-16. But those 6 guys, and then the 3 we just mentioned that were added to the list today, Trey Lewis, Ray Spalding, and David Johnson. Interestingly, it's all Louisville guys. We've had a handful of non-Louisville players sprinkled in. Yeah,
Bellarmine players there.
A couple Bellarmine players, a couple EKU players,
Yep.
a couple players. I think a couple players from like Marshall a few years ago. As of right now, we're 9 for 9 in terms of guys that played for Louisville. Now, Jalen Withers did transfer and play, finish his career at North Carolina.
I claim him as a Louisville guy.
But
he was
yeah.
only for UHC for like 1 year compared to like 3 with
Right.
Louisville.
They all played for Louisville and primarily for Louisville.
Yes.
Angel Nunez, I think, also transferred, but was a Louisville guy. I think he went to Gonzaga, I want to say.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, did not do much out there. But
yeah, obviously.
That's our squad as of right now. We're getting ready for the July 20th game against the Kentucky alumni. That'll be at Freedom Hall. Tickets are available if you want to go to thetournament.com. All right, let's get back to the text line. Let's check on the YouTube chat, see if we've got any more YouTube comments from you guys over there at the Big X Sports Radio Louisville page. We do. Let's see. Producer Keith says, intro and outro music sounds like it's coming from a Nissan Altima on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, we're having some issues with that. We're working on it.
What are you going to do? Matthew says, Ahmad Hardy got shot right. He might not even be playing this season. Prayers to him, though.
He actually did he?
He did.
When did that happen?
But I think he's still good to go for the season, right?
Well, wasn't that one Commanders running back? Didn't he get shot and he came back after like 4 weeks?
He did. The shooting with Ahmad Hardy was back in
Brian Robinson Jr.
Ahmad Hardy's thing was back in May. I think it's been like a month and a half.
He'll get back in the game then.
But I don't want to talk out of turn. I don't want to say things that I don't know about. But I'm pretty sure that there was some ruling or some update a couple weeks ago that said that he should be good to go.
That's good.
I hope he is.
Oh, yeah. I hope so, too.
See, as of a week ago, Eli Drinkowitz said he's not fully acclimated back to weight bearing yet, but he's progressing well. Great energy. The biggest thing for us right now is holding him back. he wants to progress faster than the doctors. Well, the classic coach line. We're holding him back. He wants to be out there right now. What was the Pat Kelsey kept saying? He's chomping at the bit. He's frothing at the mouth about Michael Brown last year. So little by little, a little becomes a lot, but we aren't quite where we want to be yet as far as his recovery is. I assume from these comments he's going to be playing this year.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what it sounds
I think I got the same feeling here.
Let's see. Dean says it sounds like intern Ian's parents are awesome and could be a couple of the greatest parents ever. I don't know if that's somebody that you know.
That might just be my dad. His first name is Dean.
I love it. Dockery says the secondary audio sounds like a Wish version of a ham radio. Look, we're doing the best we can here with the tools we have at our disposal. Yeah. That's what we do.
Bear with me, man.
That's what we try to do.
First time.
Chris Plummer has weighed in on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Says, do you not see the family dynamic? Maybe he doesn't have the stones to say, F you, Dad, I'm playing. Kind of seems that way. I know that, like I said, he's still young. He's still 19. And when you're dealing with the person who has been the authority figure in your life for every second that you can remember, I get it. It's tough when it comes to some of the biggest decisions of your life to at that point say, I'm calling the shots now. This guy has very clearly kind of run the show. He's told Michael how he's going to, where he's going to go to school, I assume, in high school. He's told him, what the AAU situation is going to look like. He's been his individual instructor when it comes to individual workouts, all of that stuff. And so when you feel like this man has been more integral to getting me to this place than anybody else, how can I then turn around and when his advice has led me here, say, yeah, you're telling me not to play in the NCAA tournament, but I'm going to do the opposite. I get that it's hard, but at some point, you're a man. You got to.
Do your own thing.
If you feel like it was the right thing to do, if you felt like you could have played, and that's what he said every step of the way, basically. He's like, I'm doing everything I can to get back on the court. I want to play. You can go to your dad and say, look, I love you. Don't take this as a shot. Feel free to continue to keep giving me advice, but I'm playing in the tournament. Even if it was 8 to 10 minutes. Texas Ian, if she's letting you come back to her place on the first night, then go over there and have fun and then drop her like a bag of rocks in the ocean because she's rated E for everyone. I don't know how I feel about these texts coming
crazy, man.
giving advice.
Gosh.
Keep in mind you're young, Ian.
Yeah,
Say the right thing here. Handle this the right way.
No comment then.
She's rated E for everyone. Come on. I mean, there is something to be said.
That was a good comment.
There is something to be said for,
that was hilarious.
But you're 19.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you're not necessarily, marriage shouldn't be in your mind right now.
Exactly. My mind right now is mostly on this career.
I had a friend.
Career in college.
I had a friend my freshman year in college who just, we would go out, and he's like, he did the code switching thing, as Roman would say. He'd be like, I'm trying to find wifey tonight, bro. I'm trying to find I'm like, we're 18 and 19 years old. What are you doing right? Very good looking guy who had a lot going for him. I was like, I am not trying to find a wife right now. What do you, would not hate a girlfriend, would not hate seeing where things go. It's not at the forefront of my mind when I'm 19 years old.
Yeah.
Don't do that. The Riddler says, I disagree on your analysis of the KP contract not affecting this sport year. There's multi-year sport ripples here. Yeah, but the action itself did not take place in the 2025-2026 athletic season, which therefore is outside the parameters of the least cool person tournament. By your interpretation, we could just have, Andre McGee win every single year because we're still dealing with that stuff, or Katina Powell dealing with that stuff every year. You got to narrow it down a little bit. Got to narrow it down. I'm not nominating, U.S. Reed because he beat us on a last-second shot in the tournament 45 years ago. Let's go to break. When we come back, final segment of the day. We'll get to the rest of your texts. We'll make some predictions on the games that are going to take place in the night ahead in sports, and then we'll call it a day. It's the Mike Rutherford Show. Final segment is up next here, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio.
options when it comes to insurance that
the final segment here, the Wednesday edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Trevor Kelsey, intern Ian in the house today as we roll on and get you through your hump day. Hope you're enjoying your ride home from work or wherever or whatever's going on. Thank you so much for spending some time here with your radio pals. We've got finals from the first two matches of the World Cup today. Bosnia-Herzegovina takes down Qatar 3-1, and then Switzerland wins the group with a 2-1 win over Canada. Now, someone can – I didn't have a chance to verify this, so someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm told that because of these results and because we know that the United States has already secured the top spot in its group, the match between USA and Bosnia-Herzegovina in the round of 32 is now set. That will be our first matchup in the knockout stages. So I'm going with that until someone tells me that I'm wrong. I mean, do we start like we hate Bosnia trend now? Is that where we are?
Well, by the way, I'm back.
Okay, I didn't know. I was waiting for somebody to talk. I couldn't tell who it was.
You didn't know whose name to say to go to. You're like, well, hey, dude, why don't you say something?
The last two segments would be like, is that you, Ian? And then he's talked. So I was waiting for somebody to say something that time.
We flipped out. Ian's actually going to join me for the 5:30 to 6 recap as well.
Nice.
Mainly because he's listened to most of the show more than I did, so I need him to help me recap what happened.
We had a lot of people call you out about stuff when you weren't listening to the show.
I'm interested in that, by the way.
Well, you've messed up two different Seinfeld things that people are upset about.
Whoa, hold up.
You said Spade instead of Spader earlier.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you also, Podcast Random Thoughts guy was very upset. He said, you're supposed to be my Seinfeld liaison. Mike Moffat is the parking space arguer bookie with the broken thumbs in the trunk.
I never realized that was his name.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know. You're a phony.
Yeah.
You call it a phony.
And then lots of talk about your shirt, obviously.
Well, the shirt. For the record, this shirt is awesome.
I mean, the shirt, I don't think people have an issue with the design or the shirt
the
itself.
neck.
It's the fact that it looks like you rolled around on and it was stretching your feet out like a child.
So I looked at some of the YouTube comments when interning first took over, and I stepped out, and I was like, well, I'm going to listen to the show a little bit. I'll watch the YouTube, even though it's behind. And I mean, some of you people are mean.
Yeah, that's the show. That's how it goes.
Wow. I don't know if I want to be Lee School Cardinal personnel. I mean, that's just kind of mean. But I think Pete brought this up earlier on the show today that, and I'm going to go that he is correct, that, yes, the winner of Bosnia and Qatar, if whoever would win that, would be USA's next opponent.
So we've got Bosnia
or the knocks out round.
in the round of 32.
So they beat Qatar? Okay.
Yeah, let's go. I feel like this is, I don't know a ton about soccer, but I feel like this is a good draw for us.
Do we have Bosnia history?
Like, I mean, besides like wars?
Yeah, I mean, it's soccer history. Yes, of course. No, not outside of war. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't Google Bosnia USA history if you're looking for soccer responses to be the first Google results.
When was that Bosnia in Mary? That was like in the 80s,
like 30 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dayton Accords, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you about the soccer history between.
I wasn't sure because I don't remember them. It's not like we hate Ghana and I guess we hate Mexico just because it's Mexico, and even though
I love Ghana, by the way.
I have no problem with Ghana. I mean, but we having issues with them because they knocked us out like back to back.
Yeah, I feel like we always run into them.
Yeah. So
now it looks like the most recent time we played them was a friendly in 2021, which we did win 1-0.
As Roy Kent would say, who gives a bleep? It's a friendly. It doesn't even count.
It counts. All time against Bosnia, we 2 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Okay. Undefeated, Trev.
Yeah. And, the other interesting fact, I didn't know this, we've never lost to England in the World Cup?
Well, I knew we've drawn them the last 2 times we've played.
Okay.
Because we played them in, was it 2010, I want to say?
Yeah, when the goalie dropped
fumbled and we tied 1-1. And I think we played them in the first match of the World Cup the last time, and it was like a 0-0 draw.
And then we had the big upset like in the 50s, I think, on them as well. When we beat them, I think we tied with them, and everybody was like, we won 0-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who wins?
2022, you're exactly right. We've played them 3 times in the World Cup. 2022, we tied 0-0. 2010, the 1-1 tie, and then 1950 in Brazil, 1-0, considered the biggest upset.
Yeah.
That was the one where when people got the score, because they were like, it was like the old telegraph system. Everyone double checked to make sure that it was right because they thought it was a screw up on the score. They thought that they'd gotten the wrong information and that there's no way we could possibly have lost to the Americans 1-0. So some of the newspapers didn't even run it because they didn't want to give out false information. So
let me, this may be a better Jeff Greer question. What is more irritating to an England soccer fan, the gap in winning a World Cup or never beating USA in the World Cup?
I'd say not winning a World Cup probably grates them a lot more than not having beaten us.
It could be both if we play them in the finals this year.
Did you hear the announcer yesterday, the quote? I didn't actually hear it. I just saw the quote everywhere. When they were playing, which they got lucky. Did you see that there was a clear penalty late in the match against Ghana that they did not give? They should have lost that match 1-0, but they ended up tying 0-0. But early in the match, when it was like 0, the Fox announcer was like, England here in Massachusetts, where they've historically struggled as a country. Very good line.
I mean, so good.
Very well done. Right there for the, you put it on a tee, still got to swing. Well done. So we've got that going. So we will play Bosnia. We wrap up group play tomorrow night against Turkey. Would still love to, we've never gone 3-0 in group play. Would still love to do that. Would be a cool accomplishment. But yeah, I'm all for not burning the starters. If Pulisic's not 100%, let's keep him on the bench. Let's get reserve some more experience.
Have we ever even had 2 wins in group play? Sorry to interrupt you, but it's
only because I think it's I believe we have.
I mean, I guess I was thinking maybe 2010 or 14 when we had, was it 2010 maybe when we beat Mexico in the knockout round or whatever it was maybe.
I think we went 1-1-1 in that World Cup.
Okay,
in the
I mean, I knew without even looking it up that there was no way we had been 3-0 ever in group play,
right?
But I was curious if we'd got. I mean, 1-1-1 seems like I feel like our best probably record ever, or maybe 1-0-2 or something.
And we've done it a few times.
Yeah,
let's see here. So in 1990, it looks like we went 3-0-0. No.
Oh, I was gonna say no.
We went 0-0-3. Take that back. Not even close.
Yeah, complete. And it was 1990. I'm like, we went 3-0 in 90?
I know, for a second there, I was like, what? The graph is really hard to read.
Yeah, I don't know. A double take on that one.
So we did go in the famous 1930 third place World Cup. We went 2-0-1 in the group stages.
By the way, we learned on KRC, only 13 teams competed. Egypt, who was supposed to be there, had to cancel because their boat ride to the boat they were going to take here got delayed by storms.
It still counts as a third, damn it.
And so they had to cancel, so the tournament went from 16 to 13 teams because some teams couldn't make it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's a great story.
It says on Wikipedia, it says, canceled by storm.
Yeah, so we've never won more than 2 matches at a World Cup.
Okay.
Overall. We won 2 in that 1930 World Cup. We won 2 in the 2002 World Cup where we made it to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
But we've never won more than 2. So in group stage that year in 2002, we also did not win 2 in the group stage. The second win came in that Dos a Cero win over Mexico in the knockout stages. So we went 1-1-1 in group play that year too.
So we can set like a new basically USA record on tomorrow night.
We kind of already have. Looks like
we've matched, I guess, at worst, but our best.
Well, we've never won two games in group play. This is the first time.
In group play, yeah. Overall, I mean, we've just matched overall history.
Yeah.
Teams.
Kind of crazy. Now, granted, this is the expanded World Cup, and you know we got the A post position draw because we were the host nation, so we got a little bit of an easier group. But we can prove that we're not a fluke in the knockout stages now.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think it's expanded in terms of knockout. In terms of group stages, it's still 48 teams, right?
Well, it used to be 32 teams, and then then it went down to 16. Top 2 teams in each group qualified for the knockouts.
No, but how many were invited initially to group?
32.
Oh, okay.
So you get 32 overall teams, 8 pods of 4 teams. The top 2 all made it to the round of 16.
Didn't realize that.
Now it's 48 teams. 16 get eliminated for 32-team tournament.
I knew the new one. For some reason, I thought it was already like 48 teams, and it just went from 48 to 16.
Yeah. Somehow your pick of Italy still did not qualify in the 48-team tournament.
They got screwed.
Yeah.
It's all political.
Let's
I blame Mussolini.
There are worse people to blame. Let's take some text on the Game Day Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. Before we get out of here, let's see. Texter says, who sets media messaging strategy? It just seems like things aren't crisp if we're retweeting 18 times, but miss on having a PK quote in the press release. I mean, I don't know. I think
love your exhausted answer to that.
Yeah, I just don't have the answer for it. Like the retweets do seem excessive, but if Pat Kelsey didn't want to give a quote, what are you going to do about that? And if they felt like it wasn't necessary, then there's also that. I don't know. I don't know if there was a game plan going into it or if this was all just sort of done. Texas, why did MBJ even pick Louisville? After all this, I can only assume we offered the most because it doesn't seem to be something else that drew him and his dad here. Well, I mean, I think, and this has been known, I think Donovan Mitchell played a huge part in this. He formed a relationship with Donovan when he was like 15 or 16 and on the Adidas circuit, and I think Donovan spotted him at one of his camps and like saw something in him. They kind of formed this mentor-mentee relationship, And, I mean, I'll just say it outright. I think if that didn't happen, then he wouldn't have ended up at Louisville.
I think I didn't watch the interview he did with ESPN, I guess it was yesterday or maybe the day before, but I believe I saw like a little clip and just the highlights said he was referencing how much Mitchell had an impact on him.
Yeah, I mean, like.
So that sounds about right.
It was very, I don't think he would have come here if he had hated the head coach or hated the pitch that Louisville had to offer just because Donovan Mitchell was pushing him in this direction. But I think it was a situation where, we checked the same types of boxes that Kansas did and some other programs did. And then it was Donovan Mitchell that put us over the top, where he was like, I want you to follow in my footsteps. I want you to have the same type of experience that I had. And like he clearly was somebody that when he was playing in high school, Michael went to for advice. And so it was kind of like, here's this, once again, like kind of going back to the conversation with his dad, here's this authority figure that has been influential in my life. And he's telling me, hey, like, I think you should go where I went. And I think that's kind of what put us over the top. And then Adidas helping out with the financials a little bit definitely played a part as well. So, yeah, I think all of those things were the best answers to why he ended up at Louisville.
Now, I know we don't talk baseball on the show.
No, never.
So, but good thing this is only basically near baseball. Have you seen the clip of the Norwegian fans at the Cubs-Mets game?
Yes. After the home run for the Mets?
Yes, this is
the camera
great.
The camera cut to them all doing the celebration is just phenomenal. It's terrific.
I mean, how can you not be like my mom and just be all over the Norwegians right now?
I do like the Norwegians.
I mean, if not for USA, was it the Cape Verde? I think they might be kind of the other Cinderella team as well. But
yeah,
because they're so small. But yeah, I mean,
Ghana too.
The Norwegians. I mean, it's just. I love it. They're great.
It is very cool. I enjoy the celebrations. It's been fun to follow.
It has.
Do you buy into, we talked about the Freddie guy who's been touring the U.S.
Yeah.
Do you buy into the thought that he's a plant, that this is all like a big scam? Because all of a sudden he's getting, like, you've got politicians reaching out. He's interacting with the space station. He's still not showing his face at any point. A lot of people out there think that Freddie is a fraud.
Okay, first of all, he has never, because I don't know. I know the Freddie stuff, but I don't follow him, so I'm not that into it. He doesn't show his face. I did not know that.
Him or his travel companions.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
I feel like early on, the first day, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. Anytime something on the internet seems a little too perfect, 95% of the time it winds up being some sort of corporate backed.
Well, who would have benefited the corporate wise from this? Like, is it Buc-ee's or
maybe Buc-ee's?
I mean,
it could be Buc-ee's
because I could see him.
Big Buc-ee's finally got to Freddie.
I could see this being like genuine, and then like as it got popular, people started being like, "Well, that's popular. Let's we'll and then he starts getting free stuff. And
sure.
And people want to take advantage of what's become his genuine popularity, I think, and it loses. It's kind of like rock music in the '80s, what hair bands became, or what rap's become, thanks to corporations. But I'm going to go with that. But I'm not showing. That's kind of weird.
There's something going on here.
But I'm trying to think who would be like so evil to start this. Like, is the America Tourism Board or something? I mean,
I don't put anything past anybody anymore.
It's Mikkel's dad. He's behind it.
Might be. This guy.
Just post a picture of Chris. I keep wanting to say Chris Brown, and my mind automatically goes to musician.
I think everybody's does.
It does. You think that's why he didn't want to be Chris Brown Jr.? Or he could have been C.J. Brown, I guess.
Well, he's not junior.
So is Chris his dad's real first name or his middle name?
I don't know. I don't care.
I do. It bothers me.
He's out of my life now. Get him out of here. I don't care.
You can't be a junior if your dad's real name is Chris. That doesn't make you a junior. That just makes you Mikkel.
I've stopped trying to figure out how this family works. Nor do I care anymore. I'm turning the page. It's not my problem anymore.
This was a year ago question.
Yes, pretty much. More like a 5-month ago question.
Okay.
Texter says Lance Robinson sucks. Come on, guys.
Lance Robinson?
Yes, our starting center for this coming season in football.
Oh.
Who's going to be representing the team at Media Days next month, along with Lincoln Keynoles and Cleve Lubin.
I know that 2 of those 3 is Pete.
You should know Lance Robinson.
As Meatloaf would say, that 2 out of 3 ain't too bad.
It's time to get back into knowing stuff about sports, Trev. It's time.
Or at least football. I can only do one sport at a time, and right now I'm soccer, okay?
We're 2 months away.
Well, I got soccer for the next couple of weeks. The other football.
Texter says, why wasn't Donovan Mitchell at the draft? Wasn't the whole reason Michael was at Louisville? Yeah, I mean, you almost would have assumed that he would be there over Kelsey. But
do you think he invited him and not Kelsey, and he maybe turned it down to not show up Pat Kelsey?
I don't know. I don't like. Maybe it's also a thing where he's the face of the Cavaliers franchise. You don't want to be dapping up a guy who's going to a different franchise. I don't know, but
it's Brooklyn. No one cares.
It is that not a bad point. It's like a Louisville guy like reacting to somebody signing with Tennessee State. Like, who cares?
Plus, it's kind of crazy. Mitchell, you think? I mean, I know he's New York, but I wonder if he's Brooklyn or is he New York kid? I don't know if there's a difference.
He's a New York kid.
So he's not. He's a Knicks, not a Nets.
He's a Knicks guy, yeah.
Okay.
And he's a big Mets guy. His dad worked for the Mets, still does.
Okay, so yeah.
Texas Brown's dad is such a brittle bee that PK not totally kissing his ass would be reason enough for him not to invite him. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted at least 6 figures for an invite for PK.
Charging for a seat at the table?
You laugh. I also would not be shocked.
Do you think other athletes do? They charge their family members a seat at the table on the draft day?
I don't think so. Again, with this family,
who knows?
I don't put anything past him. Texas Mike, bring back the Rutherford show. The TK show featuring Mike Rutherford isn't listenable. Trevor hasn't even been on for like 3/4 of the show today. When is his show starting so he can get his thoughts out before dominating the 2:30 to 5:30 segment? This is somebody who wasn't listening today and listened to some other shows and just decided they were going to send it in. You weren't even on from 3:30 to 5 today.
Yeah, at least let me earn the crap I'm going to take.
You weren't even listening to the show.
I did. I could hear you through the wall a little bit. Well, because I usually turn my mic off unless I talk, but our man Ian leaves it on nonstop.
So okay, and I know we're doing this on the air.
That's all right.
What are we doing from 2 to 2:30 now? Because Peak has been in here.
Peak hangs out with me, I think, from basically Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday right now.
So do we have a name for this 2 to 2:30 show?
Well, right now we're just doing like a KRC overtime.
Okay, so it's like KRC Plus.
Exactly. But on Tuesdays, he does remote, so me and Ian kind of hang out and do the 2 to 2:30.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have a name. I guess TK Takes.
Not the worst thing you've ever said.
Tuesdays with Trevor. Something along those lines. Old and young. Me and Ian in here. I don't know if that's. I wouldn't do a Google search of that.
I still like Rehabilitated with Trevor Kelsey.
Rehabilitated. I know you do.
So what's 5:30 to 6 now?
That's the Rutherford recap. Where we just talk. Where you can listen and we just talk about you and what you talked about. And Ian's gonna normally I'll do it. I'll talk for about 10 minutes. I'll play a segment from the show previously, and then I'll talk a little more, and then we'll end it. Today I'm not going to do the replay of you talking because I didn't listen for like an hour and a half. So And so Ian's going to join me in the 5:30 to 6 and go over what I missed maybe while I was off the air with him, as well as I don't know how much you dug into it. And I shouldn't say this so he doesn't run away beforehand, but I do want to get some more details on this date.
He had some crazy details.
I mean, I heard
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard the dad being the helicopter dad and like being like, no, you're not going to her house. Which he's a Wagner guy. Wagner men don't do that. I'm a little disappointed.
Ian's dad is, or Ian is?
Ian's dad's a Wagner man.
Oh.
Wagner man. He's about 4 years before me.
Okay.
So he's and Wagner men don't do that. We let our kids run wild.
It's true.
So this has to be on mom. His dad's probably stuff, but then he knows, and he's listening, going, "Man, Trevor's right. I should know better."
I don't think he's doing that.
I'm a Wagner man. What was I thinking?
I don't think that's how he's
like. I let the Mrs. Seneca get way too much into me.
Stop. Texture says, "What if Michael Brown Sr. had invited Kenny Payne to the draft?" Again, his name is not Michael Brown Sr. His name is Chris. Why would he have invited Kenny Payne to the draft?
People are going to start bugging you about the junior and senior thing now, I think.
Texture says, who the F in 2026 is acting like a woman is wrong for sleeping with you the first night, but the man isn't? I don't think anybody's saying that.
I don't think any. I have no problem from either perspective. Do what you want to do.
Why can't she just have fun and think he is rated E for everyone? Do not send me into a rage on this beautiful Wednesday. Jesus Christ.
What? Did I say something? Or?
No, you weren't on for that. There was a text about like intern Ian. If she invited you back to her apartment on night one, you need to just you should have done it and then dropped her like a bag of rocks. Because,
because she's
rated E for everyone.
No, I disagree. You don't know that. For all you know, you're only the second person she's been with, and you're just that impressive.
I mean, I think anybody who initiates, whether it's a man or a woman, if they're trying to do the deed on the first date and it's kind of like a formal whatever, I feel like that's a little bit of a red flag.
Formal, I'm assuming Malibu Jacks' location doesn't fall under formal.
Well, when you're 19, I think that's you don't knock on the Jacks. We love the Jacks on this show.
Apparently he did too. That's why he went all alone.
Look, we've done a show for Malibu Jacks. We were there last summer. We love the Jacks.
Till I get there, we'll see. I can't fit in a go-kart, so I have no love for him.
I mean, I'm not even like. Sometimes a hookup can become a 14-year marriage. Just saying. A very happy one.
And let me rephrase, a very happy one.
Ohio guy says, moving on, I think the reason why Chris the Plumber is happy you're back from vacation is because he has no friends in real life who will listen to him spew right-wing propaganda.
Listen, I may not.
Why do we always have to do this at 5:23 every day?
I don't agree with everything Chris the Plumber says politically, but I think he seems to be not to sound like the guy who nominated me. He seems like a nice guy overall. Let's lay off Chris the Plumber. I don't mind him.
Riddler's texted in and says, fine, replace KP contract with Hurd's commitment to 93.9 and Diener. Make the switch for the official station, Josh. I mean, we're partners in this whole deal.
I was going to say, we're official. Yeah, technically, yeah, we are.
This is it's the Louisville First Media Group, which we are a part of. So, once again, I can't really, I can't be on your team here, Riddler, when it comes to this.
That's funny, though.
Texas, I think we should all just call him Mikhail Brown Sr., spell it wrong on purpose, too, FM. I'm moving on from Chris Brown.
Oh, man.
The singer and the dad at this point. I've had enough. I've seen enough. I don't think I got a DM last night from either him or the AAU account, although I haven't checked accounts that I don't follow. So who the hell knows? But I'm done.
I don't know why. Something about the juniors and that name thing. I went down this rabbit hole with TJ, who's, by the way, not a junior. He's Terry Walker the second.
Yeah.
But he does TJ, and then I started calling him T2, and he got mad, so I had to quit. But I don't know why. Something about like the false use of junior just irritates me in names.
I'm looking at.
I don't know why.
So I'm looking now for the first time at my DMs from people that I don't follow. You have to look at like the request part. And it's so many UK fans DMing me about Mila Momcilovic from 4 weeks ago. It's all these UK fans who are like, I think you guys got him. Like, I think Louisville's got him. Are you hearing that? And like all these UK fans are like, why do you think he's going to UK? Like, what do you know? Like, it's just like 15 straight UK media DMs. But no, Chris Brown did not DM me last night from either of his accounts.
Or either Chris Brown.
Either Chris Brown. All right, we got some quick picks for tonight. These are brought to you by our guy, Chad Hennessy from InsureMax, proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. Call Chad Hennessy at InsureMax today, 502-479-4085. We don't do baseball on this show. Never have, never will. So let's do some picks on these 6 o'clock World Cup games coming up. Morocco 1-1-0 against Haiti, who's kind of gotten screwed here a couple of times. They are 0-2 in this World Cup. Who brings it home? 6 o'clock FS1.
Morocco.
The Moroccans they're locking up.
The Moroccans are a rockin'.
They're locking up the number 2 spot here in this group with a 3-0 victory.
Ooh,
6 o'clock, Scotland versus Brazil. The winner likely brings home the group title. Who wins it?
I'd love to pick Scotland for tournament, but I'm going to go with Brazil.
Brazilian 3, Scottish 1.
You got me some boring games at 6 o'clock to watch.
Yeah.
Sounds like
3 goals is fun.
Yeah, if you're the team that's scoring them.
Yeah. We got the Rutherford recap coming up next. I'm off to Lakeside. A little pool time. Maybe change clothes in the bathroom.
Hey, I'm going swimming today after the show.
Look at us.
I got to go pick up some equipment from Dennison for the remote on Friday.
Boom.
Which have you plugged?
Have not.
Do it now.
I don't have the thing in front of me.
Okay, never mind. Sorry to put you on the spot.
I know it's New Albany.
It's in Jeffersonville.
No, it's New Albany.
Okay. But either way, I'll be going to the pool, do some laps. But why don't you come to the pool with me someday or at my aunt's house?
We're over a minute late for ending the show. We need to end the show. Rutherford recap is up next. I'm back tomorrow at 2:30. Until then, go Cards.